We're finally here, ladies and gentlemen, another match of the week as we bear down on Shanghai. It is a gorgeous looking 7:30 right now. In fact, it's 6:45. I don't know how to tell time, but I do know how to tell that this is going to...
So first problem. What the fuck am I saying coming into my intro? Look, we haven't even started and we've got a problem. Dislike. What the hell is my intro? Learn to read the time or keep it simple. This intro guy, I mean, you're not wrong. Sorry about the quality. Let's see if ChinaNet can bring it up, yeah? 480, we okay with that? Good. Win-win. Hello, hello. Now. Sorry, I'll get rid of alert list as well.
Going to be a good series. As Lyric joins me once again, I am Hysterics, IG, and Estar. 6-0 versus 6-1.
Right.
First and second are rookies and world champions, Lyric.
This is one of the most exciting series that any LPL fan can ask for. It should be very bloody. You know, you have a team like IG that is always playing on the knife's edge against a team like Estar who are always willing to commit to a play.
And Estars, remember, are the rookies. But let's start with Invictus Gaming. A lot of people around the world should know what this team's play style is. And going straight in...
So I led us into the conversation of Estar. So in terms of direction to start things off, especially when I'm working with a newer color, because he's a great caster already. Don't get me wrong, but I need to keep direction better. So directing narrative at the start. Also, as we've said many times before, oh, we're noisy outside, aren't we? Or streaming. Did you make your bed specifically? I always make my bed. So World Champs IG 2018, which is not really irrelevant. I mean, it is relevant, but it's not Jackie LaBallan. So it's 3 out of the 5. So World Champs versus rookies. With Estar, that's the first one. I'm going to close this door so that the happy family outside can't hear me. Okay, I apologize. We're in an inconsistent start. When this turns into a YouTube VOD, I'm sure people are really going to enjoy it. So directing narrative at the start, the strength of IG remains yeah, it does. But the purpose of the narrative was it's world champions versus rookies. So
into defining what makes them successful with IG, we talk about the solo laners being the key.
Yep, my key phrase for IG is individual skill.
Because at the start, I talked heavily about...
We already know, we've seen a lot this split. Puff and South.
I was I directed it to Estar when I knew we were going to start IG.
About especially Ning and Rookie making their way covering for the Shy. We see a play here right after they'd won a team fight against Top Esports. Just this 3-man unit consistently looking for kills. They're pretty much always together. Rookie this split has lived to enable the Shy. Equalizer slowing down 369. 2-man gank coming out.
And I love the diversity in champion picks coming through from Invictus Gaming at the moment as well. Things like the Nico, the Shy spamming Rumble, and the Kalista top deserves a ban. It's intimidating to go against these solo laners.
It really is, and another phrase I'd use to describe this team is skill expression, because that's what they're all about, showing how good they are. Maybe the surprising thing for me this split has been how focused Rookie has been on trying to help get the Shy ahead instead of just his own laning phase. Because we see him constantly
Puff is in a similar position
himself,
to Jackie.
But on the other side of Estars, let's look at what defines them. Their playstyle
I
the
know.
bottom lane. A mix of Royal Club and Young Miracles players. It's like they've become RNG and FPX combined.
They really are. So they're team-oriented and bot-side focused.
Words I used were Estar, RNG, and FPX combined. Now, even though this is not the strongest of narratives, it's well, it's... My purpose coming into this, as well, was introduce Estar to an unknowing global audience. It's scary. White Clement. So... Estar, my goal coming into this was, for a lot of the global audience, they don't know Estar. How have I... they don't know Estar. Shut up, everyone. How do you introduce a team to an audience that will know, 3 or 4 out of the 17 LPL teams. Like, people have heard of LGD, people have heard of maybe Fiji, but a lot of them wouldn't. People know EDG, FPX, IG, probably WE, RNG, and that's it. They'd know LGD from like 2015. They'd know Royal Club, hence RNG. Isn't name dropping bigger? Isn't it just name dropping bigger names to gamer interest? Yeah, I mean that's how I'm, like, my plan to introduce Estar to the global audience was bigger names that are known to link to Estar. It's like also how they play, but what do they like at the moment? And then that leads into like the Royal Club players, Young Miracles. We didn't talk about Young Miracles World Buff. I mean, it's a bit early, but it's kind of like a fun point. All came from RNG Raw, yeah. What does FPX and RNG combined mean? Style of FPX, like 4v2 bot, the priority on 80 carry that comes from it in Wink, Royal Club, RNG. The link to RNG is more like the priority that they put individually onto Wink and Wink style. Now, obviously that changed last night when I found out that Wink would happily play Major's bot. However, I thought it was an okay link. It would have just been simpler just to say they're like FPX. Instead of trying to link between two teams, which in essence have similar priorities, but different ways of going about it.
They look at their best when they're able to get off these four-man dives that we talked about FPX was famous for last year.
This was week number 1 as well, and they came into the split burning red hot, and against FPX, took a series win. Not many teams can say that in the last couple of years.
Not many teams can say that at all. And the thing I love about Estar is they were so consistent with making that play. And looking at something like this, it might not be a gank or a dive, but they are the ones who are first on the rotation. Xiaobai is already here. And again, it's a lot about fighting. It's very bloodthirsty. It's very decisive. We always see Xiaoxi looking for these hooks.
And even though it's not individual skill expression, it's more about how Estar as a team are showing their synergy here, right? Like, as a team, these guys only came together this year as what people were calling leftovers left in the LPL.
Well, and that's the phrase I've been seeing a lot of people use.
Wrong. Dislike. E-Stars are not leftovers because they were never in the LPL to start with. Well,
uses this as Chinese Griffin.
So the purpose of starting here is like our opening segments build the foundation for the cast. This is important. So even though like people look at it as just a pathway to champ select, which doesn't really matter, this should give you some like fundamental narrative to go into the series with.
Their play style, but we saw it last year in the LCK. This band of newcomers, untested players, and rookies
PDD being the talent producer,
having the same skill levels.
That'll be something we touch on a bit later as well.
Because people will only know Wink on this team, who shadowed Uzi for a while down in Royal.
I mean, I guess Wink,
alongside Abel, Cryan, who was the trainee under Xiaohu as well. And I just love it. It's such a long replay, but it's such an impactful one where Wink comes to the forefront, where Wink has
I picked up that B-roll. That's my fault. It was so long. It was
it's
so long.
exciting to see that a bottom lane that came from Royal Club is stepping up in its own right.
It really is excited. We see one half of Royal Club,
a bottom lane that came from Royal Club,
so
an 80 carry that came from Royal Club.
Solid bot lane for many years, just coming in. And again, the big surprise for me is how relentless Xiaoxi is on these plays.
I want to go into the supports in this matchup then, because not a lot of the time can we ever talk about a support matchup, but this is the series to do it. You'd think IG solo lanes, you'd think E-Star's bottom lane. Well, part of it is right. We got the Hitman, we got the Nanny. The real graphics are on my Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, which was so beautifully made. But this is just a different play style.
The thing I love about this, look at Southwood's champion pool. You haven't seen him play Leona. You haven't seen him play the Nautilus. These are two staples of the LPL. His job is really just to stay next to Puff, raise up this baby, make him nice and strong for these team fights. Xiaoxi, on the other hand, going to be flashing left and right, not going to hesitate to find the engage. We see the Bard. We see the...
I need you all to see this. Can you all see this? This was the original graphic. We're not allowed to put it on. But I liked it. Problem is, Raz has left, and I've kind of unchanged myself. Not always a good thing, but this was it. This was the look. This was the graphic. It's John Wick. It's Mary Poppins. It's all you need. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, shall we?
Set. This guy's going to play any style of champion.
Which, when we saw the last game here with Vici Gaming, it was all about that roam from Maestro. I look at Shoutcaster and I say, well, this guy does it better more consistently and is always on the ball.
Nautilus Leona doesn't... I mean, Leona Nautilus just signals meta. Like, the thing is, it's just meta at this point.
Not to look at.
His Leona was just not on point week.
I don't think it signals anything. I think it just signals, like, standard pull. And it's like, well...
Our match of the week begins here between IG and Estar. Into
like,
pick and
just on your note.
Not his way up the line.
We see the bar.
You're saying, like, no Nautilus Leona, right? So, weakness in engaged talent, but, like, the Thresh is still there. And our narrative coming into this, so let's come back to what we're saying. Our head-to-head focuses on Southwind and Shoutcaster, right? So, Shoutcaster versus Southwind, right? And we've called them Hitman versus Nanny. Sorry, I stumbled on your point. LP, I think it's just like, a lot of it comes down to preference, but it's more about the dynamic picks that are amongst their pool as well. But like, I get what you're saying, potentially, right? Thresh isn't at all like those two. The other champ comparable would be Alistar, yeah? I mean, that's true. Anyway, point is, so, we've come into this, said world champs versus rookies. RNG and FPX combined, it should just be like comparable to FPX, but that's not what I hit. I said RNG and FPX combined. It's not that it's wrong, it's just, it's not simple. It's not as simple as it should have been. And then we got Shoutcaster and Southwind, and that's the narrative, right? So we got also IG, solo lanes, and then we've got Estar, bot lane plus dragon control plus team fighting. And so those are the two narratives. It's specific to the style of the team. Estar that comes under the banner here with bot lane. World champions versus rookies, and then Shoutcaster versus Southwind, Hitman versus Nanny, right? Now, what do I like? Even though it was overdone, simple desk segment. I don't mind that. The RNG FPX, yeah. Anyway.
We see the set. This guy's gonna play any.
So it's hard for me to multitask and read at the same time.
Well, Gaming, it was all about that roam from Maestro. I look at Shoutcaster and I say, well, this guy does it better more consistently and is always on the ball. Shoutcaster worked his way up in this league because in week 1, people were like, the Flash Wolf support, not to look at.
His Leona was just not on point week 1, but
and
he's
now,
gotten better and better.
Now it is.
Well,
our match of the week begins here between IG and Estar. Into pick and ban. And ladies and gentlemen, notice that IG have been playing a lot of blue side here in 2020, and they demand the Kalista top ban.
Yep, we see IG are 9-1 on blue side. Another thing to highlight is Senna went through.
So this has been happening a lot.
We don't typically see either of these teams focus on the Senna.
IG
but the big pick for me was going to be that Rumble.
And
IG have played Rumble 8 times
first pick
split.
top.
Estars have played it 7. Both soul laners on both teams love this champion.
Absolutely love it. The biggest flex out of any of the two teams right now in the LPL. So what's left available when you have that sacrifice? Well, Wink towards the bottom side with the Varus.
He's looked great, but this is a denial pick coming out from Estar. And that is Puff's second most played.
Sick fast forward, what happened there?
But this is a denial pick coming out from Estar. And that is Puff's second most played champion. It is the Ezreal. We talked about this. This team does not really pay much attention to their bot lane.
Playing safe towards that bottom lane. Now enabled. Ezreal, what do we pair it with? Do we look for a support
I want to see a jungle here. You've already seen the enemy show jungle. It would just make sense. You match jungle, save a soul lane for later, maybe get a nice support in that bot lane matchup. But they disagree. This is the IG we know. Get 2 strong solo laners right off the bat.
And 2 really strong flexes. The Shy has already played this top lane earlier in the split against an Ornn. Rookie also playing Rumble. This goes both ways.
And when
I stated the point, I rinsed and repeated it. So now that we're in, like, pre-game champ select, so what have we already learned? Estar B-roll was way too long, talking over a point that was already done and dusted. Now, more importantly for champion select is simplicity of information, because stated a point about the flex already built on IG and kept going into it. I nearly forgot I had dinner in the oven. Oh, you could have burnt the house down watching this, my man. All right.
When we look at these 2 champions,
my point is flex.
Neither of them are really known for having bad matchups. Rumble can really push against most champions, and Lucian in solo lanes really is a strong lane bully. So now that IG have shown their solo laners, you would expect Estars to lock one in themselves here. They picked the Maokai, and this is what I was afraid of going into this series. We're going to see if Xiaobai can really handle the abuse that IG put on the top side.
Yeah,
The Shy is so dangerous in these laning phases alone, but when we talk about bringing the cavalry up to the top lane, Xiaobai is going to get bullied, and he's been bullied before. Playing a weak side top like RNG's Lung Xing, they go hand in hand.
Yep, and Estar should be expected to ban junglers out from Ning. Ning has played a lot of diverse champions. That Olaf, again, an LPL staple. But Ning has played things like the Trundle. He's played the Kiana. He has two games on the Zac, not a champion you typically see in the LPL. A lot more in the LEC
champion pool,
and NALCS.
I get, so Lyric was doing well to give the
Estar have a
identity
lot to worry about when it comes to
people through
Okay, so the first ban
champions,
coming
which
through
I talked about before. But
I like that, you know, on the tip of my mind is that Zac we've seen and really heightened Ning in the last series.
Struggling to find points here.
He put on a clinic. Does the pressure continue here from Estar's final ban of game 1?
Clinic.
Yes, I would like to maybe see something like the Trundle if you are going to play a lot of tanks like the Maokai and the Jarvan. But what I'm more curious to see is what does Estar go for in their solo lane? Because, again, we know Estar
we'll go through all champ select
really
and then
to
I'll
take pressure through the mid-jungle 2v2. But you really don't have anything that could pressure either of these 2 champions. Maybe we could see Cryin go back to something like a Cassiopeia. I was going to say Cassiopeia or the Azir. The Azir is banned. Cassiopeia, he does have 2 games on as well. But, oh.
Yeah, okay, we're going to look at this hover a little bit lightly. Cryin in the last series, let's not forget for Estars, when they went up against BLG the final game, it was Cryan's Corki, which really cemented it here. Good.
Never mind, I'm going to pause it now. I like revisiting past games of /IG to give reference to a champion pick. Something that I think casters don't do enough, and something that I was really failing with in my last cast, was giving that identity we talked about, right? Where is it? You know, playstyle, history, giving player identity through champion picks, and it's something that's not done enough. Where like, not done enough by me, to be specific. Where I go through and like last series, I'm like, oh, this was so nice. I do it based on history as a whole, but I'm not specific enough with it. So that's one of the rare cases where I'm like,
lining of packages,
last series,
and that will get locked in for him yet again.
Yep, so we see from Estar
like Cryan's
so far, they are really
great.
Focused on scaling.
And even though it's a champion, we don't see much.
Carry. Same as IG
like,
though,
well,
but a lot more of a scaling
I
option
went,
in
I
the
hit it,
pick.
so I actually had a point to give.
I've seen him have beautiful packages.
You can talk
and
about
here's
it.
That Trundle we were talking about for Ning.
Yep.
He's really like to go back to this champion. He has 2 games on it, really strong. And again, it goes really well against what Estar have drafted.
Yeah, ease of access, using it on the Maokai there, who's just going to get tank sat so easily. I like that IG, though, you know, going back to, okay, do we put Southwind on something that can kind of match something like Xiaoxi? Do we see a Nautilus coming through?
Yeah.
Questions answered for me.
It's part of their style.
Answer that hook.
Right, like,
he will. This is
what is he as a player? Well, here's what I saw last series. Here's how he could be.
Like
you know,
to leave their last pick
here's what we expect.
Yep.
And it's actually not too surprising when you think about their play style of, again, really enabling their bot lane and making sure that they can get the job done. But I'd say you have two really standard compositions, like for
their
these
team.
teams.
Yeah. We set this up as, okay, let's go and dive top. Let's put a time limit on this game and get the speed through those solo lanes versus we're bot, we're going to team fight, we're going to slow this one down. Super easy to start.
You can hear me putting my mask on.
Yeah, and breaking down kind of these
I put it on, I take it off
we
when we go into
know
champ select, and I put it back on at the end.
IG are going to let Rookie and the Shy play extremely aggressive. Ning's going to kind of hover both lanes just to make sure that they...
So I think I handed over to, you know, hand over to set up compositions was okay. It was, I'm going to say decent. I talked merely about, like, a lot of the time I'll just throw, like, scaling and stuff in the air, because scaling is super easy for both me and an audience to understand. Like, if I said to you, this comp scales, and you go, well, they have to play safe, because at 30 minutes they win the game probably. Or if I say, this team's got a timer, well, obviously I'm talking about the first 15 minutes are crucial. What's their early game like? It needs to be good, you know? So, yeah. Too aggressive. I mean, scaling is such a generic term. Yes and no. It also opens up for the color to be more specific. So it's not the worst of terms, and I don't think it's actually like, it's actually bad to say. But I'll talk about, if I do say something like scaling, I'll be like, well, you know, I mean, like, I look at that composition isn't cut and dry, but it'll be like, it's Estar like favored in their sense, and it's IG favored in their own sense, because IG play through their solo lanes, and Estar played a bot. What have they set up here? Well, great chance to die bot.
They can, you know, put the punishment down as they please, as Puff and Southwind just kind of grow up into a big team fight threat.
Fifth game of Rumble, though, on the top side of the Shy, and quickly hitting that. With Invictus Gaming, part of that identity as well is the fact that the Shy has the majority damage on this team. The Shy is close to 30%. No other top laner demands this respect. And I think every spring we come back to, are IG looking good? And the answer always seems to be yes.
Yeah, and you know another thing that really scares me about this Rumble versus Maokai matchup?
Might have to move my notes over
if I recall correctly, Rogue
You guys
Warriors,
might not be able to say them,
but
I'll revisit them every
under turret as Rumble against Maokai.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Well, look, Maokai's not too exciting, but on the side of Invictus Gaming and the side of Estars, they've drafted like we expected.
Time is super easy to explain to an audience.
No matter what happens in this series, they're both still.
If I explain time to an audience, then they go, "Oh, okay. I need to look at one element. That's the clock."
And in this series, IG are coming in as not clear favorites. It's actually really matched with expectations, which against IG in form, not many teams can say that.
So I changed the conversation.
Debut split. Chinese Griffin. I like that lyric. Let's take
new narrative. Chinese Griffin. Whether you agree with that or not, I mean, it's a different scenario, but and Griffin was like a, you know, a very different style of team. But the point is, like, they just enter their first split. I don't know how much I agree with that, but I went with it. I changed the dynamic. I changed the conversation as we were setting up comps at the end of Champion Select.
That into game number 1 as our match of the week kicks off with Invictus Gaming versus Estars.
Okay, simplistic intro.
For me, IG aren't coming in as heavy favorites, just kind of how their playstyle shapes up, where, again, it's how they've played since they went on that ridiculous run in 2018, where Rookie and the Shy are constantly playing so aggressive. They do get picked off a lot. They do get caught out a lot. So you see a lot of kills in IG games, and you also can see them fall behind and see an enemy team snowball.
I mean, last series against Top Esports, game 2 ended with the Shy almost at a negative KDA. But he was still huge. And that's very much like Invictus Gaming, to go all out and not really care towards some of the more confident players. Now, Lyric, I have you. I have the ex-coach of Flamengo. Sir, you're going to tell me a little bit about why we're seeing so much Halo Blades Corki, especially on Crine.
I don't think we're actually seeing a lot of Halo Blades Corki.
Hey, 2 counts as a lot.
We're seeing 2 games of Halo Blades Corki, And when you think of Halo Blades as a rune, it's just a lot better for these shorter skirmishes where, again, you are able to quickly get off those auto attacks and walk away.
They need to win this early, like through lanes. It's again, like, it's very easy to simplify that by saying
also allows you to
E-Stars,
the blood and
with time,
Hunter, a lot of sustain
look to be unbeatable.
Moves. Also the Legend Bloodline, so always looking to stay pretty healthy.
No, I did not. I don't know what Reverse Griffin is.
Now, look at the pathing from Wei, heading towards the bottom
Estar IG live game discussion.
We set up
Reverse Griffin.
Over on the Chinese side, looks like they're highlighting this matchup as well as they
Jordan or Lyric
seeing that, again, the
mentioned them Chinese Griffin, so that'd be where he got it from.
Like, IG getting 40.3. It shows in that statistic and in these jungle paths, we
More
know
the lack
where
of a
both
true
of these
tank.
teams like to focus.
Yeah.
This is how the Shy always plays. Doesn't matter if he has vision or jungle, he will always be under the enemy's turret.
Boom, set up bot. Here it is.
There's the flash play. Shoutcaster wants to start this one. The Ignite's there, flashing from Wei as well. Puff is dead, and E-Stars strike first here in the series with a hook from Shoutcaster. That was just gorgeous. Give 2 kills to the virus.
You know what I'm putting on my thing?
E-Star finding the plan
like
they want to execute on early.
Using the word gorgeous.
Again, you know, E-Star do this
what
every
language?
time. They are like a clock. They always strike at the same time.
What great language.
And I think you could have expected it on the side of IG.
Playstyle was completely opposite to Griffin.
Series where Pup and Southwind are going to be tested here as the new AD carry and support of Invictus Gaming. Gone are the days of Baolan and Jackie Love. Pup and Southwind start this game up 0-1 with hardly any items versus a Vampiric Scepter here on Wick.
We look at it well. The wave was set up well as we see Puff and
narrative-wise
trying to
similar,
aggress for the push. Just sets up Jarvan for a very nice 2-camp into a bot side gank. Great hook coming out from Shoutcaster. It's what we talked about.
Good
and
matching.
he start getting an easy 2 kills.
The LMS support.
Now that I have my co-caster in here.
Well, we're already 3 minutes in and we've got 2
Good
kills.
matching. Good matching and narrative.
Look at him on the map. We already see him hovering towards the mid lane. This is the type of player Shoutcaster is. This is why we call him the Hitman. I mean, we don't really call him it. That's what you call it.
That's what I called him. Hey, I had the picture of John Wick and, you know, what's her name? Mary Poppins.
You did have...
Go check out my Twitter.
I was very proud of Yadong's graphic.
That was, thank you very much to Yadong. That was an absolutely big banging graphic. But, hey, the Shy's in a bit of trouble.
This is what we talked about with the Shy too. He will always play under the enemy's turret. Doesn't matter about vision. Doesn't matter about the enemy jungle.
Peekaboo. Okay, Teleport's going to come in over the flag. E-Stars want to commit to this, and the Shy might be in a bit of trouble. Ning finally coming up as well, but Kryne has come on in. The Halo Blades Corki ends up forcing a flash out of IG, and this early game out of E-Star is rolling.
We talked about IG's playstyle allowing for a lot of things like this to be abused.
So Jordan's revisiting a lot of narrative.
An experienced enough team
which is really, really good.
E-Star showing that, again, this is the battle for title of best team in the LPL right now.
Gives a bit of space to Xiao Bai in that top lane. Ning is invading because the Shy has teleported back to
bring it back to
lane.
game, which I think is fine here.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what you want to see, I guess.
You have blast.
I
You
guess.
bought the blasting once, so we can have immediate stats now and just continue to bully in this matchup.
So we need to see a couple more ganks from Wei then if we want
turn
to
it back
stop
up.
this.
As Wei, you do have another option. You could either, again, try and counter this aggression on topside, or just say, okay, we picked this Maokai for a reason. You're going to accept the punishment, Xiaobai. Best of luck, buddy. Head towards the bot side and keep snowballing Wink.
Keep your teleport up.
Nice. Really simple win conditions from Jordan.
Teleporting to the bottom lane. The
Again.
option not there right now. E-Stars do have the shove in here, but Ning now heading towards...
Let's just revisit this super quickly. What we've got for narratives, just for anyone else tuning in, what we have for narratives for now is World Champions, E-Star, RNG, and FPX combined, which should just be FPX, realistically. Shoutcaster versus Southwind, and we've already started hitting that already. Like, you know, Jordan did a really good job of hitting, who was it? No, Shoutcaster, like the Hitman. And then solo lane's bot lane. Like, how... This is why I wanted to look at this series, because I thought in terms of setup, of style of teams, this was one of the better ones. This was really, really good. Because we've already set up the solo lanes, like, and in draft, it really helps when in draft they do it as well. And we talked like this too much. A little bit, but like your crutch words at the moment, I think, like, we can go through. It's fine. It's honestly like, and then remember that I want to do this. I want to heighten him. So I'd help him push his points and let him have the floor when necessary, but also, like, let the conversation flow, and sometimes me stepping in will help that. So let's just remember that, like, this is about, in a series that has so many has 2 different dynamic playstyles, this is about
Towards here himself.
letting the audience understand that through lyric.
Doing the same, level 4 on both the junglers with an exact CS copy.
So
let's slow it down.
I'm jungle tracking. I do that a lot.
Our only chance to slow it down and set up kind of overall win conditions of these teams, of these team compositions. We already talked about the Estar. They would like to take it slow, scale up for these late game team fights. Obviously, they're not doing that. They're accelerating the game, and it looks beautiful. On the side of IG, they're doing what IG always does, draft strong lanes, just come into these later skirmishes and really let your skill shine through. We actually saw in their last series against Top Esports where they came in with a 2-0. Cool. We saw that those IG shenanigans in Magic where they're forcing 4v5 team fights and coming out ahead just because they're better.
And taking risks while the Shy just burns Xiaobai to a crisp. He's going to have to back now. And the Shy has free roam in lane.
I think that's fine. I mean, like, John's hitting some really strong narrative in the start of this game. Because, like, we had a big 2 kills, and it's like, now we've slowed down.
Play after play.
So that's
if
fine.
If it doesn't work, try and try.
And then I acknowledge the top lane, like, massive trade that sends Xiaobai back and forces his TP.
Getting burnt asunder. E-Stars have started up this dragon, and there's no contest.
E-Star, we said, very team-oriented team. They're always working as a unit. Even when they're going for the wrong play, they're doing it together, and that's what we love to see in this team.
Meanwhile, the
Shy wrong play. I mean, like, I'd love more on that.
Oh,
Xiaobai is pushed out.
Jordan, I guess I'd love more on that.
I don't think so. The Maokai's like, oh god.
I think you can have the floor a bit more. You know, talking about I wanted to give you more space. Even though E-Star are committing, you know, like, it wasn't saying that they were committing to the wrong play. It was more like you're saying, like, oh, even when it is the wrong play, as in, like, in other times when it's the wrong play, they're doing it together. Yeah, hold that thought. Yeah.
Get out of here.
I use that a bit.
But no flash available. Xiaobai has his flash while bottom side gets the setup.
And to be fair, it's not about the right move or not. The Shy pushed that into his turret. It was naturally going to bounce back. And this is what we know Shoutcaster for.
Super aggressive. Tries to get the play through the minion wave and now just zoning. Proxy farming as a 3-man unit. Pup and Southwind getting the old Jackie Love and Balan treatment.
This is what we know them for with Wink. Wink has the 2nd highest gold share of 80 carries.
I think we're like, I don't know. We've got some really strong narrative points, and I think we're circling a bit. But it's not bad. Like, this is super nitpicky, right? Yeah, we are in studio together. Super nitpicky, like, you know, because, like, Jackie Love and Balan, it's not like their lane was constantly... I mean, against, like, teams like RNG, like Jackie Love and Balan.
Person higher is Huanfeng.
It'd be like, it's a situation like
this. This is typical E-Star. Bully the bot lane, get Wink ahead.
Story of E-Star.
And he's ahead. He's got 2 kills. He's got 3 loads of turret plating. Wink and Shoutcaster almost level 6 as well. Only going to get worse when he has those chains of corruption.
Yep, only going to get worse, but let's also move our attention to the top side just for a second.
Yeah, we use hand signals.
We see Xiaobai.
I use a lot. I use a lot of hand signals,
which does show he's going a lot more for this team fight route. He doesn't really care that he's getting bullied by the Shy. If you cared, maybe we would see something like a Cowl or him rushing Merc treads.
Yep.
But he's saying, you know, again, I accept the punishment. I took this Maokai knowing you were going to take the Rumble.
But that's, I mean, in its own way, a confidence play here from the Maokai top saying he will survive the lane enough to not give the Shy an advantage.
He trusts his team, right? And we've already seen that this trust is paying off. They have the first dragon. They have the first 2 kills. Shoutcaster's the one aggressively moving around the map. And to contrast that with Southwind doesn't roam as much as a lot of these other supports. We said it. He likes to stay with Puff. He likes to keep Puff safe. He really is that nanny figure. He's going to help Puff grow strong, go into the team fight, so when the enemy team is focusing down Rookie and the Shy, Puff will just be able to have his way and do whatever he wants.
He's already got a Sheen here, and you can see there's a Mana Crystal in hand, so no tier picked up.
So what's happening in this game is, like, John's doing his analysis, and then he's coming to, like, these narrative points we set up in pick ban, which is really, really nice. It's when we cast more, so I think this is a trust thing, that when we cast together more, Jordan, it's going to be a very different story. Like, it's going to be more so that I know more about, like, your direction where you want to go in the early game. Because I'm trying to keep it open. And I think sometimes, like, I continue that conversation. Because, like, the way I continue conversation here is, like, look.
Enemy team is focusing down Rookie in the Shy. Puff will just be able to have his way and do whatever he wants.
I take the last point and I go, Puff.
He's already got a Sheen here, and you can see there's a mana crystal.
And it's super nitpicky because we're still continuing the conversation. We're still actually keeping it forward, right? Jackalope and Balan would fight just about every situation. They won them because Jackalope was a monster. Even for a weak side, Ning was supposed to kill. Yeah, they were hyper aggressive. Puff and Southwind have moments like that, but yeah, I guess different playstyle.
Is what's there first.
Different players, I should say.
Now walking back to lane, Two-Shot Barrage interrupts the back. And they walk in, ready to get pushed in once
I have mini-map presence,
up here by
a little bit. I'm actually just looking at what happens.
Look at top. Xiao Bai, Two-Shot Barrage interrupts the back.
I'm looking at mini-map. That's a big thing for
ready
me.
To get pushed in
I'm
once
very
Cutlass picked up here by Wink.
Not always aware.
But yep, we'll have a look at top. Xiao Bai.
We see Ning pinging out the Rift Herald. He wants to do it. He knows the Shy is super strong right now. But Estar already expected. They've already brought Krine up to this top side. He's the package. And I think Estar look very good if a skirmish breaks out right now. Really depends on how the Shy can land his equalizer.
And you can see Blind in the river, so Rookie's not leaving lane until he gets information on Krine. Now spotted in the lane itself as it resets through. Rookie ahead in CS by 15 in this lane. There's 40 just about in that top side, and 10 for the bottom lane for Wink's advantage. But Ning now up here. Equalizer available.
But Estar know what they're doing. They've already brought Xiaoxi and Wei, and they're ready for
flow
this
really well.
play.
Got level 6 on the Thresh, but Wei has the Cataclysm. In comes the package. The Shy might be caught out here. Cataclysm now used. Equalizer down. Slows them down as Ning hasn't been spotted. But now they're like, hey, there's a Trundle up here. They're converging in on his position. Ning's got to run a very far way away. The Subjugate now used as 1 versus 4. He flashes the hook. He'll survive, but there was a lot used there from the Shy and Ning.
Yeah, Estar coming up, countering that topside play, blowing summoner
For like a
spells
skirmish.
from
That's
IG.
okay.
The downside is, though, IG roamed up with Southwind, and they are now the ones who are able to get this Rift Herald.
Sometimes I try and finish my sentence, and I'm behind the play by like half a second, so like the hook comes through, and I'm like, I'm not preemptively going, here comes the hook. Or like I'm not seeing it, nitpicky, but I try and make a skirmish / fight flow before I go, is it worth dropping to say this ability made away? You're counting? Yeah. Jake and Map awareness. Hey. You should do that in game as well. You're right. I should do that in my games. Expand your casters, remove them at just, yeah.
But
vocabulary is important.
I don't think you care if you're Estar.
As in, like,
because Wink is just absorbing this.
That's why I like the word of the use of gorgeous, right?
So far up the clock.
Sorry, I need more water.
Okay, Rift Herald's there. IG are like, the time is ticking. We gotta go.
Yep, and again, they get the Rift Herald, but it doesn't really matter for Estar. You already get the bot lane turret plates all onto Wink. Wink is your main.
Pause. Important point. Time is ticking. We gotta go. It's not about that. It's more about, like, time is ticking. Ticking. We gotta go. Now, that phrase is not bad, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like, kind of slang. But the problem is, what am I saying? What am I actually saying here is like, stating that IG are on a clock, but not acknowledging why, in a sense. Is that nitpicking? Chat, your turn. You're up. So the purpose here is I'm also trying to reintroduce discussion about comps. But not being more, it's not being more to the point. The point for my color, because I could have hit that, dropped it, and my color could have actually gone somewhere. Listen, come back to this.
We gotta go. Varus ahead so far up the clock. Okay, Rift Herald's there. IG are like, the time is ticking. We gotta go.
Yep, and
the
again,
time
they
is
get
ticking.
the Rift Herald, but it doesn't really matter for Estar. You already get the bot lane turret plates all onto Wink. Wink is your main man.
I should have talked about like the turret plating trade like myself.
Mid lane, so while IG have to
Jordan
invest
more
resources in top, Estar can go for a unified push in this mid lane.
Yeah, because Rookie just used his ultimate. He's at half health. Doesn't want to burn the heal or flash if he
Good
has
conversation.
to. Shoutcaster looking aggressive through the mid lane while this Rift Herald's going to take some time to get the charge. But first turret was already taken by Estar, and that charge doesn't get it fully. Meanwhile, Estar start transitioning towards the enemy jungle. So the resources across the map still in Estar's favor.
We see Dragon
I
coming
like
up
that. Resources across the map, however.
Down for the Drake is good. You're going to have Xiaobai answer
Simpler
this
thing to
now,
say is just like
roaming over to the Dragon just to make sure, hey guys, you can start it. I'll be close
Dragon
by
plus
just
vision
in case. And if
more
I
valuable for
contest,
E-Stars.
you know, then we see what
with
happens.
their focus around continued bottom side of some shit.
I mean,
right?
this is just, I've been waiting for this series for a long time. You're getting a look at gold. Of course, Wink's so far ahead of the shot.
Hey, Ox. Hang on, we got a lot to read. Aussie head of there's a new broadcaster in 7 PM news showing called John Campbell. Yeah. Marvelous. Yeah. Mentioning game being on a timer can push it to your color and ask what time map state does when it runs out of IG. Give specific criteria for your viewers to keep an eye out. Also makes Jordan look great when he can highlight this and marvelous. Yeah. Again, like putting, talking about times. This is what I said at the start. At the start of this stream, I was saying that like the purpose of start of draft, I should say, the purpose of going IG are on a timer, Estar playing towards bot, and their ability to fight later is like essentially what we set out. Now, Jordan opened a bit more on the side of IG, but it is simple for the audience, right? Scaling, not scaling. Do they have time to play? No. Early to mid game, mid to late. Like talking about a composition and their windows, their timing is super easy for an audience to attach itself to. Now, when people go, oh, it's much more difficult than that, yes, but it's not about going into the difficulties like on a top line level. It's about this is what happens at this time in the game. Look out for this time in the game. The majority of the audience don't know how these compositions interact. They'll learn from the color, but you know what they'll really understand? You saying that at 40 minutes, E-Stars will win. E-Stars can play slow. IG need to play through the lanes, play fast. Puff and Southland will be, team fighting threat alongside double 80 carry comp. It's like, cool, top line, right? And a lot of the time...
And it's really top
that's all you need.
Bottom.
We can always elaborate in game.
Started this Dragon. There's going to be no Drake contest here from Invictus Gaming. 2 now on the side of Estar. They've got the gold lead. They've got the first item onto Summoner's Rift.
The Shy...
Wrong.
East IG...
Yeah.
I threw him off. I talked about Wink. I was going to continue forward. Jordan came in. I was going to... Like, the first item on Summoner's Rift... and I was going to correct myself.
Who's not to contest, but talking about the Shy's build, not a big fan of, not even just Morello Namicon in general.
Bring this up.
No, but it's not about Morello Namicon, it's about Rumble. Because Rumble really
you ready, Morello Loves? Actually like this point.
First item. I would have liked to see him go for Leandri, then maybe lean on the Oblivion Orb, and then, choose your build path from there.
Sure.
Him going straight for these Grievous Wounds instead of the Madness passive just doesn't make a lot of sense in this early game.
Because I guess it's not like you're seeing Xiaobai get in range to get that passive heal anyway, right?
Yeah, and we talked about it. Rushing Morello Namicon is not bad if you need immediate stats. If you know there's a fight right now that's going to decide the game, and you only have enough gold for this, buy Morello Namicon. But you're playing Rumble. Rumble really benefits from that Madness passive. There's no Grievous Wounds to worry about. You don't need to worry about healing right now. So
I know. All right.
I think the Shy could have gone for a bit more efficient build.
You don't like that, but I like Rookie going all in onto Kryna. Flash away, Rookie follows it
up,
gets the lander, but Southwind flashes over the wall. He pops the ulti in the Shy's equalizer, zones away Wink, while LG go at it on the other side. The Shy blocked by a wall, and now Ning and Southwind are caught out. Here comes the Maokai ult, and Xiaobai makes himself useful. Estar have smacked Invictus Gaming.
Strong end. You know what I forgot? You know what we talked about? Yep. So, failed to see the TP plus preemptively. Why can't I spell this word? Give me a translate. Preemptively spot that E-Stars were winning the fight. I made up for my lack of strength in that fight with a good end. Focus on Southwind.
Southwind flashes over the wall.
The Shy's equalizer, because we were talking about it.
He pops the ulti in the
that's a.
Gets the lander, but Southwind flashes over.
Shoutcaster gets the hook.
Rookie going all in on
of
the
all
flash away. Rookie follows it up, gets
Look
the
at the
lander,
hook.
but Southwind flashes
Right across from
over the
Ning.
wall. He pops.
Shoutcaster goes in, boxes
ulti
for
in the
3. Wei gets a 3-man knockup, 2-man cataclysm.
Go at it on the
And
other
as he
side,
flashes
the
out,
Shy
Wink joins the
blocked by a
fight.
wall and
And then Xiaobai, like, look.
moves it up, gets the lander, but Southwind flashes over the.
He teleports now. So, this was so chaotic for me so fast, and I really fucked this up. And Haunting guys, yeah. So, from play-by-play perspective,
He pops the
biggest
ulti in
ulti in this fight. Like, Shoutcaster getting that hook was huge. I had the wrong perspective. I had a perspective of IG.
Blocked by a wall
And I'm like, well, the Shy can't get in the fight. He's blocked by a wall. And then I'm like, well, Xiaobai's already in.
Ning and Southwind are caught out. Here comes the Maokai.
Here comes the Maokai. It's like, well, the Maokai ult's already through. Here comes the Maokai ult.
The Shy blocked by a wall, and now Ning and Southwind are caught out. Here
comes the Maokai ult. Our Maokai ult is done.
The Maokai for the wall. He pops the ulti in the Shy.
That's one of my worst skirmishes in a while.
While LG go at it on the other side. The Shy blocked by a wall, and now Ning and.
Yeah, I'm not even close. I'm so behind the play.
Here comes the Maokai ult, and Xiaobai makes himself useful.
And I've realized there that I'm so behind the play.
Estar have
So I'm just like, pause.
smacked Invictus.
Estar smacks Invictus Gaming.
A wall, and now Ning and Southwind are caught out. Here comes the Maokai ult, and Xiaobai makes himself useful.
Huge in
The final call was good, in a way, and I was so behind the play. I missed like the biggest moments of that fight because I was so focused on Southwind flashing over the wall for an aggressive play. I'm like, depth charge, Shy's equalizer. But in that time, Shoutcaster hits a death sentence, gets a 3-man box, 3-man drag, a flag and drag, 2-man cataclysm, and then Wink joins the fight with Xiaobai's TP. So, I'm being behind the pace for sure.
This first game, and they're just showing up as a team. They're consistently moving around the map as a group, looking for these team fights.
On that, first skirmish behind the play, plus wrong focus when Estar were the ones with the clutch moves, we'll say. So that was really bad.
IG style of just, hey, we're all going to play for our own advantage isn't working.
And now Xiaobai, who was so far behind in this lane, picks up a kill. He already had the Spectre's Cal, and the Shy, who's the most fed member on the side of Invictus Gaming, alongside, I guess,
not
Rookie,
necessarily. I mean, Rookie was. Oh, okay.
have been minimized.
Yeah, and we see Xiaobai catching up in CS at this point, only about 20 CS down. But we see this fight. IG are the ones to start it. They have everyone moving over except Puff, who sat in the mid lane. Cryan does go down. Southwind extremely aggressive, kind of uncharacteristic for him, but Estar just all pile in. They have the damage there. Xiaobai
Way with a really good flash.
And we see how strong Wink is after all that gold got piled on him.
It was from the Shy, not from anyone in the Cataclysm.
That impactful in an LPL game so far. They've been suboptimal, and that was just nicely done. Estar's up 6 kills over IG's 1. 2,000 gold over the 2018 World Champions. The 2020
you gotta be.
Fight
you gotta have the foresight to know what's coming.
We criticize the Maokai pick a lot in LPL,
part of casting,
but
right?
Estar are one of the teams who really pull it off well. It fits the style that they're going to go for, and Xiaobai really knows how to, maneuver this champion.
And after coming out of that lane with an even experience,
Hang on. No, that was not the intention. Okay. And now find out. M mutes, by the way.
Has his gap between the Shy. I mean, that's not too bad.
I could have just stated, like, even though he's behind 30 CS, he's kept up in experience. He's still relevant. And come back to what at the start of the game we were saying. Lyrics said that he's building the Bammy Cinder. It's like he's not building for lane. Like he's building for the potential of the team fight. And then
almost has his ult up and available. Still has his flash as well.
Spectre's
the next fight because you saw that coming. Shoutcaster a second later, or earlier rather, and that would have been another pick for Estar.
Okay.
And despite Estar being pretty far ahead, 2K gold at this point, we got to remember, one, IG's comp does scale pretty decently itself with the fact that you do have this Ezreal pick, and two, this is IG. Again, we saw them
coming back to IG, like in terms of scaling,
pull off crazy shenanigans just the other day against top esports, winning fights they have no business to win. They've done that since 2018.
Setting up IGs.
Very true. The ability to use a double AD carry here on both teams, though, at the moment, looking pretty good here for Estar now.
Bringing it back
We're on their
Estar.
hype train. We're going to continue forward a little bit. Crying close towards the Trinity Force, but close towards the second item here for Wink, who has a Kachea's Shard and the Zeal in hand. So Wink is just so hyper accelerated.
Yeah, Wink is getting very far ahead, and now the question will be, how do they use this pressure from...
Could have referenced the... I think before we talked about, like, oh, it looks like he's not going for Guinsus. And we talked about, okay, he's going rapid fire. I lied to the viewers, overselling IG. Yeah, I know.
From this three-man...
You always do. Everyone always does, though. It's an IG thing.
Mid lane, and, like,
you know,
how can they find another 4v4 or 5v5 skirmish to get out ahead of IG?
Well, right now, Invictus Gaming have control on the top side, so it doesn't seem like it'll be there. But Wei has been really deep towards this red side jungle of Invictus Gaming. Rookie has been cornered out and doesn't know where Wei is. So, being super safe against the turret, while Puff is doing the same in the mid lane, not giving Estar another opening that could further break this game.
We just saw IG push out their top lane, answer the bottom lane, and now they're both heading towards the Dragon. They do know that objective is coming out.
I think I'm having trouble progressing the narrative forward. I think John did a really good job of pushing that forward for me. But I think a lot of the time I'm circling around item choices and not, like, looking at game state. I think I've had a pretty sparse, oh, what's the word? Lacking acknowledgement of game state, which is not something I normally do.
20 seconds, and again, you do have a lot of good key.
It's game state through Wink, right?
You could hit a good
I'm talking a lot about, like, the items in the first side, and, like,
you could come out ahead.
How big Estar are. In that sense, it's fine, but it's not like the 2K gold up. Look at vision, like, look at the control.
Package around Dragon. I mean, what good timing here for the Corki to have.
What do we watch? We watch the mini map.
We saw Crying with these package uses the other day against BLG. Me and you
I don't need to watch it now.
That series, and he just put the game on his shoulders that series with his package around the Rift Herald.
The Xiaohu trainee is now level 11.
We watched the mini map.
In a good position here. Posturing for the fight. Level 11 across the board. Chains of Corruption's going to land. Package still in hand. Ning flashes away with the Subjugate. Equalizer laid down. Wink low. He's over it. And the package, though. 2 lines of fire got me confused, but Estars were poked down massively.
I acknowledged it. I thought Wink was over. I don't know. I was like...
Ning flashes away with the Subjugate. Equalizer laid down. Wink low. He's over it. And the package, though. 2 lines of fire got me confused, but Estars were poked down massively, and IG actually in a position to steal the Dragon.
Yeah.
I used the word steal the Dragon there. I think it's fine. Steal, like, in the sense that, like, Estars were so far ahead, and they've already gotten 2. Like, it was theirs to take.
Just good play coming out from the side of IG. They're going to be the ones to contest this objective. Coming out from the side.
So he's walking mid to clear.
Of IG, they're going to be the ones to contest this objective.
Or to kill.
Hook's gonna land onto the Shy. He's caught out. He flashes away. One more auto. Will it tick over? No. The Ignite is not going to go through, and the Shy just walking mid for no reason.
Rookie healed him.
That was so beautiful. We expected the fight to be over.
So we had two different angles. I was like, why would the Shy go mid? Hiding up there. Why was highlighted there? That was Crow reset for package. Yeah. I mean, like, let's go back.
And he just
walking towards it.
Equalizer.
Because like we've reset right about now, right? And yeah, Trinity Force picked up.
Giving Estar another opening.
So that's game state in a way again.
We just saw IG push out their top lane, answer the bottom lane, and now they're both heading towards the Dragon. They do know that objective's coming out in 20 seconds.
Jordan sets up Dragon.
And again, you do have a lot of good key ultimates on the side of IG. If you could hit a good Equalizer, you can hit an Arcane Barrage, then you could come out ahead.
Rift Herald also up there towards the top side of them.
Okay, so game state, options, and Rift Herald.
Ning was walking towards it. Cryin has package.
Okay, I do set up Cryine's package though.
Around Dragon. I mean, what good timing here for the Corki to have his best ability.
But I don't mention the Trinity Force, which I should have, which would have really highlighted it.
We saw Cryin with these package uses the other day against BLG. Me and you were the ones casting that series, and he just put the game on his shoulders that series with his package around the Rift Herald.
The Xiaohu training.
Jordan to highlight, I think, package the point better.
He is now level 11 as well. Cryin in a good position here.
Still managed to mention Trinity Force.
Posturing for the fight. Level 11 across the board. Disruption's going to land. Package still in hand. Ning.
Really big focus on the package. So in that sense, looking at like the key thing, which is the package, was fine. But it's, in a sense, packaging it together, right? Like, I can't find another word, but bundling it together.
Flashes away with the Subjugate. Equalizer. Two lines
of fire. Fuck me.
This objective.
Hook's going to land on through in the shot. He's caught out.
I could have reacted to that better, but I was just a bit confused.
Play coming out from the side of IG. They're going to be the ones.
He walks through the end of vision, by the way.
Objective.
Tick over, no.
Beautiful. We expected.
Missed the heal.
To be over. We thought IG were the ones who came out on top, and they end up getting an extra summoner spell out of it.
Xiaoxi doesn't miss his hooks. Yeah, give him a phone. He deserves it. He gets an oppo, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens. He hits one once again. Cryin with no package this time as it was used offensively. The teleport coming through from IG.
Another acknowledgement.
Looks like teleport coming in from the Shy, just making sure they're able to get this Dragon. Though Estar are posturing like they want to contest.
Of course they do. It's the LPL. It's IG Estar. We're going to fight again. Way on the outskirts. Dragon at 1500. The Shy. Cataclysm down. They're turning their attention. They kill the top planer in exchange for the Dragon. But the flash forward. Xiaobai gets to the back line. Bramble smashed down. And Rookie gets poked on down by Wink and Cryin. Puff escapes to the backside of Xiaoxi with the flash. Death sentence. The heal to come through with the flay, but even he has to flash into the waiting arms of the Maokai, who ults for the fun of it. E-Stars are taking it all.
Better than the last skirmish. Let's look
Cataclysm
again.
down. E-Stars
long one, right?
Fight again.
So, what I'm good at here...
Test. Shy just...
The teleport comes...
Teleport's on the screen, so that's not map awareness. You know.
Coming through from IG.
Looks like teleport coming in from the Shy, just making sure they're able to get this Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, the Trinity Force, like, it would have been so much stronger with setting up Cryin better.
Estar are posturing like they want to contest.
Of course they do. It's the
John mentioning positioning of Estar.
LPL, it's IG Estar. We're going to fight again. Way on.
I mentioned LPL a lot.
Dragon.
Right.
1500. The Shy. Cataclysm down.
The Shy, Cataclysm down. Not way Cataclysm down.
They're turning their attention. They kill the top planer.
They kill the top planer. All right. Instead of, it's like, while IG do the Dragon.
In exchange for the Dragon with the...
Oh, in exchange for the Dragon, I just say...
Forward, Xiaobai gets to the back line.
Gets to the back line, Bramble smash down.
Bramble smash down, and Rookie gets poked on down by Wink and Cryin.
Which is technically true.
Puff escapes to the backside of Xiao.
Okay, so, for some reason here...
And Rookie gets poked on down.
I'm like, my brain goes, I don't care about Ning. Ning's a tank. Ning's probably out. There's no twisted advance. No matter.
Wink and Cryin. Puff escapes to the backside of Xiaoxi with the flash. Death sentence. The heal to come through with the flay, but even he has to flash into the waiting arms of the Maokai.
Not the worst. Even he has to flash. Everyone flashing the team. So there was better joining of different moments here in this fight. It was longer. It was easier to cast, but the purpose of this fight was like, well, IG have taken Dragon, but Estars are like in a good position to fight yet again.
For the fun of it, Estars are taking it all.
This team is so decisive. We've constantly talked about Xiaobai as the weak link of this team, but that flash W is so beautiful. Then Xiaoxi flashing over the wall. It's just consistent aggression coming out from...
Specificity and language could have been a lot better. Are we in the mid to late game? We're at 18 minutes. I mean, honestly, at this point, like, that's it. Let's just call that first fight ? And need to use the relevant names. Example is Wei used Cataclysm. Mention the Shy when he dies. I was like, you know, and the Shy pours Cataclysm onto the Shy, not Wei use Cataclysm, or like Cataclysm from Wei, and the Shy cornered down, they've focused him and he's dead. Now 4 versus 5, game state. Slowed down and kind of let you wait to see what happened before jumping in. Yeah, the slowdown on the rookie point was nice because it set you up to pick up between Puff and Ning. Yeah, that's right. I call it mid to late because Wink is so far accelerated. Yeah, I mean, just look, game state at the moment is just really accelerated in general.
Estar,
anyway.
they always know their limits.
So when it was the Wink, Wei, and Cryin party. We called it the Cryin, Wink, and Wei.
That's what we said.
Xiao,
Cryin, Wink, and Wei, by the way, I like it.
Xiaobai, the weakest members, doesn't feel like it this game. As a 5-man unit, they are walking over IG in these fights, and they've taken even more gold. 4,000 lead here in game 1, and we'll look at this again.
We just see all the ultimates are down on the side of IG. The Shy is zoned out, easy ultimate coming out from Wei, and just good flash coming out from Xiaobai. Very aggressive, unfortunate.
What I like, and look, I'm not generous to myself, but nice game state after what is probably the most significant fight of the game, or one of. I think that was a good transition for me into, like, you know, like the weak elements of performing on Estar, like the highlight of Xiaoxi of Xiaobai, and then like after that fight I was like, well, they're now even further ahead, you know.
That rookie flashed it and
mix
brought
of narrative
into his whole team. And here
with,
we see
again, that keyword game state.
The relentless aggression coming out from Estar.
Rough for Puff in the end, but the aggression doesn't stop.
He used his ultimate to secure the kill.
Is this decisive? That's what you want, and that's what you're getting. Sunfire Kate picked up, and when you talked about the build earlier on being used specifically for these fights, it's working out for Xiaobai. With that one item, along with the Spectre's Cow, with the Cinder Hulk on the side of Wei, with Trinity Force plus a pickaxe, finally completed here. And
yeah, so from that language, Orcs, I think I actually just like didn't look at his items before, and I thought Trinity Force probably already there, but there's a pickaxe. I'm like, there's no way he finished the components like Phage and Sheen equals Trinity Force plus a pickaxe on top of that. Like,
okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think I just blanked on Corky's items.
Typically, the on-hit bars.
Ning just
see Rage Blade second, but it does seem like Wei just wants maybe the extra range. He does know, hey, as long as this team can't get onto me, which they really don't have any way to other than Nautilus, maybe the slow from the equalizer, things like this, that they're gonna come out on top.
Suddenly Maokai is relevant.
If Wink can stay safe, Estar win.
Okay. Wink has been pretty safe so far. 5-0-4. BT on the horizon. Imagine the lifesteal that'll come through from that third
Again,
item.
this build is very interesting because typically we'd see Blade of the Rune King into Rage Blade into Runons.
True. I don't think we have time to look at the build though. Look at where Rookie is. Rookie, run away. Spots 3 of them. Cullen comes out immediately. The Chains of Corruption lands and into the back line again. Xiaobai has been beautiful, but with a 3-man knockup, can IG turn it around? Southwind lives for now, but no longer. Whoa. The equalizer hits 4. If everyone was alive, would it be different? The Shy still at full health, and Estars have to back away because of one 5-man ulti.
Okay.
No buy.
A lot of problems with that fight for me.
Time to look at build though. Look at where Rookie is.
Play to the Rune King into Rage
Steal, that'll come.
Map awareness. I'm so focused on Rookie, and to be fair,
again, this build is
that's
very interesting.
very important.
Blade of the Rune King
Because
into
like
Rage
Rookie is
Blade
walking into the waiting arms.
Look at where Rookie is.
So I'm focused on Rookie, so it's okay for now that I missed Xiaobai.
Rookie, run away. Spots 3 of them.
Culling. And then now, like, I should have that quick thought of...
Look at where Rookie is.
There's Rookie. I should have that quick look at the map to see the
away.
archive.
Spots 3 of them. Culling comes out of...
So, really poor map awareness.
Change of Corruption lands and into the back line again. Xiaobai has been beautiful. Immediately the Change of Corruption lands and into the back line again. Xiaobai
Depth charge hits 3.
has been beautiful, but with a 3-man knockup, can IG turn it around?
Okay, can IG turn it around? I'm leaving myself open, so that's a 1 moment of recovery in the fight.
Southwind lives for now, but no longer. Whoa. The equalizer.
I hit a dark tone there.
It's 4. If ever turn it around. Southwind lives for now, but no
it's
longer.
5,
the
actually.
equalizer hits 4. If everyone was alive, would it be different? The Shy's still at full health, and Estars have to back away because of 1 5-man ulti.
I said hits 4 because of a 5-man ulti, so...
Estar finding a great pick, but those are the kind of equal...
Give me this. No, it's a new point, thank you. Watch the Maokai flanks. Yeah.
Equalizers, we talk...
Is W still a thing, the root, the dash thing? I'm pretty sure. Are you talking about Twisted Advance? What's Maokai's charge? It is Twisted Advance, yeah. Bramble Smash, Twisted Advance, Sapling Toss, and Nature's Grasp, I think. 4-5, it's all the same.
Talked about that.
It's just being consistent with your information.
Keep this game competitive, but Estars are still the one who come out on top.
So I was very aware of the Shy's ult.
1 equalizer.
And he's fallen behind a bit as well, but it's still that equalizer. The Shy has been prioritizing Rumble for the past couple of weeks we've seen in the LPL for a reason.
Well, I need to talk about, again, I keep referencing that top esports series. If you haven't seen it, I remember there's one fight specifically around Dragon where Southwind just gets caught out and dies. IG still then choose to engage. He hits a perfect 4-man equalizer and they come out on top.
So it's 5k gold lead to Estar. It's 21 minutes in, and because of what we just saw, we transitioned to IG. That's fine. I know, like, there were a couple of people who were saying, like, you know, like, a lot of people think we have bias towards IG, but the problem is that it's because of relevancy of, like, their past 2 years. When IG fall behind, like, 7,000-8,000 gold still, even with a comp like this, it's 1 equalizer like that. It's, like, the skill class that IG are in that can always bring them back. And it's because we've seen it so many times before that it makes sense that we go back and we say, well, even though this team looks like they're in the dumpster for game 1, which, you know, we knew they were, there's always that potential. We always have to leave it open-ended, and people say, well, you're focusing on IG, and what is an Estar success story? Well, no. We're focusing on the potential of IG in an Estar success story. So, you know...
Consistently,
it is more like
series,
8k, but still the point stands, right?
I mean, the Shy, we talk up in a lot of our series for a big...
Hyper-focused Southwind early in the game, then Rookie to Shy mid and late right now.
Reason, and the fact is, this guy...
Well, we looked at the support matchup, so I'll defend that the support matchup was Southwind versus Xiaoxi in playstyles. Like, remember we called him the Hitman, we called Southwind the Nanny, because it's like babysitting Puff and looking for aggressive plays across the map. Now,
consistently performed.
In this part of the game,
a Kalista top
we
fan,
are
the only team
Rookie in the Shy
that
and
this
mid
champion
to
gets banned against.
It's not even just about performing, right? It's the fact that IG makes things happen that shouldn't work by the rules of, like,
9.4
macro with
yeah. We're focusing on the solo lanes because that's the story. Now, to be fair, we haven't talked about Rookie at all. I mean, Rookie came in for a flank before, but we've simply talked about Equalizer, and we've talked about nothing else for IG.
Of Legends and things like this. IG doesn't care about your rules.
And it can sometimes be a curse. We saw at the world stage, everyone watching will remember the FPX IG series in the semifinals, where in Game 4, IG with the Kale, like the Shy, was making really questionable plays, but then he can also be an absolute god. So it has its benefits and doubts.
Right? I mean...
Right. I like that point, Because IGs, you remember on the world stage, like, they have good and bad moments, right? Game 4 against FPX was a bad moment. Like, the Shy entered.
We see that in this game. We see the downsides of this, that a really coordinated team who knows how you're going to play can punish you very easily. If you look at IG's games, you know they're not going to put any pressure around the spot side. Estar did a good job. They punished that. They said, hey, nice. Xiaobai, you go survive on the top lane island. Not something we've talked about much this split. He did great.
He did absolutely magnificent. Took the hits in the early part of the game.
We saw a player, it wasn't King, and I misremembered. It was Crazy. We saw Crazy get solo killed by the Shy, someone who's had experience in the LCK. Xiaobai is a completely new player and handled this perfectly.
So with all the narrative we're talking about the Shy, we heighten Xiaobai.
Xiaobai, I mean, when you think about top laners, you don't put him on a list because he has only made his debut. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that E-Stars are the newest team in the LPL, but the only person to play in the LPL is Wink.
Pause. Extra narrative. Can I have a new box, please? Can I have a new box? How do I new box? Insert one row below. E-Stars. Well, hang on. That's this. World Champs vs Rookies.
Brian never got his chance. Chelsea played in the LMS.
Wei was a sub in the LDL.
But didn't play in the LPL, the main
I
league.
call them a team of rookies because in the LPL they are rookies. Shoutcaster is not a League of Legends competitive rookie, but in the LPL he's a rookie. This is his first split. Wink has been, you know, subbed in for RNG before, but he's never been on, like, a starting position. Cryan, Wei, Xiaobai.
No, but he was a sub. He didn't even play in LDL, right?
Yeah.
He was shadowing Xiaolong Battle.
And we're talking about Wei being a sub
from?
in the LDL.
I can tell you right now, it's Royal Club, it's Young Miracle.
The graphic was very nice, yeah. Legit, with so many fights, no business winning. Yeah, target selection. He was caught out left, right, and center.
It seems like...
Ooh, Chains of Corruption, flashball from Chelsea, and Puff can't escape. Death again as Southwind goes in, but who's there? Rookie getting soloed out by Cryan. He has to flash as well. In comes Wei with the Cataclysm as the... Yes, that's the equalizer again, but everyone's dead. Wei will die because of it.
So acknowledgement of the equalizer.
Somehow IG get one, but again, Chelsea is a menace. This guy doesn't miss his thresh hooks.
Okay, let's revisit. Let's revisit, because it's happening
right now. It's Royal Club, it's Young Miracles.
It seems like... Ooh.
Talking about story.
Oh, Chains of Corruption, flashball from Chelsea, and Puff can't escape. Death again. As
seems like... Ooh.
Oh, Chains of Corruption, flashball from Chelsea, and Puff.
Chains of Corruption, flash forward from Chelsea. Minimal information, but it works.
Escape. Death again as Southwind goes in, but who's there? Rookie getting solid.
I'm focusing on Cryan and Rookie.
Death again as Southwind goes in, but who's there? Rookie getting solid out by Cryan. He has to flash.
I'm looking at the Nord, and I'm like, the Nord's dead. I don't care about the Nord. I transition.
Well, in comes Wei with the Cataclysm as the... Yes, that's the equalizer again, but everyone's dead.
Taken a bit off guard by the equalizer. Could have been like, the equalizer comes through, but the fight's already done.
Wei will die because of it. Somehow IG get one. Again, but everyone's dead. Flash as well. In comes Wei with the Cataclysm as the... Yes, that's the equalizer again, but everyone's dead. Wei will die because of it.
Okay, he does.
Somehow IG get one. But again, Chelsea is a menace. This guy doesn't miss his thresh hooks.
Amazing team fight come out of Estar.
Didn't really end the fight, just like mention like Chelsea doesn't miss his hooks. I could have been like Estar with another. But yeah. How did Rookie die? Shall we find out?
Like,
oh, Chains of Corruption, flashball from Chelsea, and Puff can't escape. Death again as Southwind goes in, but who's there? Rookie getting soloed out by Cryan. He has to flash as well. In comes Wei with the Cataclysm as the... Yes, that's the equalizer again, but everyone's dead. Wei will die because of it.
Oh.
Somehow IG get one.
He died from the Maokai.
But
oh my god. I missed that.
Somehow IG get one. But again, Chelsea is a menace. This guy doesn't miss his thresh hook.
I missed that. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Come out of Estar. Just, I don't think anyone expected this series to look like this. 3-2 at 24 minutes for Estar.
I missed that.
They gave the favorites over to IG, and I'm talking about when you think, okay, who are you going to favor in this series? Everyone said Invictus Gaming. That's my point. Estar's here, the underdogs, not performing like it. They've got a Mountain Soul on the horizon with a Maokai, with a Thresh, and with a Jarvan.
Yeah, and...
3 champions took up a lot of space in that. Maokai, Thresh, and Jarvan.
Again, going back
Game stayed a bit.
to Wink's build, he did finish that Bloodthirster, so it is all about that survivability. Does seem like...
I knew Jordan was interested in Wink's build. He'd been talking about it. The perfect solution there is like a Mountain Soul on the horizon for this tanky lineup, and Wink has his 3 items. Like, because I knew at that point we're going to build. So that's knowing, that's like a knowing your, that's
Estar
knowing your partner better.
We're far ahead. As long as this Varus is alive, we can't lose.
And you've got on the horizon as well, you got Crine with an Infinity Edge. Like, that is coming very, very soon.
Stick
the
with
Maokai with the
builds.
Spirit Visage complete and the Stone Plate for the Jarvan. So, in a perfect team fighting world, you're pretty much there, Feast.
Keeping up to date with items is not my strong suit, it seems, this game. He already had Stone Plate for the last fight. It's already obviously procced, but it's more about letting the audience know that he has that, I guess. But it's just the language I use.
Yeah, I don't know if we could say anything bad about what Estar have done or what they can do in the next 5-10 minutes of this game.
I like the locket purchase.
So LP,
well,
when you talked about like LPL doesn't do narrative as bad as LCS, LEC, I mean like we do so much narrative.
So
it's just
far,
about how we
7-0
phrase it.
I keep saying it every time you bring up that point because Wink is not dying. It's so hard.
We just
to get
have
through
a lot of
Shout by
elements
time. IG
into
somehow, though,
a
managing
singular
to push it
narrative.
It's
There's
like
a lot
you
of
said with that
strands.
IE. Even if by some miracle you manage, if you use your IG magic and you somehow delete Wink, you now have to deal with a 2-item Corki.
Powered Chelsea though. You saw that hook every single time. It's either super close or it's on the mark. IG grouping is a 5-man mid here. They've got 6,000 gold against their name. And at 25 minutes, Estar's looking confident, but IG still as aggressive as always.
And I want to say Shoutcaster was handpicked by Betty and Swordart to be his replacement on Flash Holes. And Swordart was known for his thresh in the LMS.
Yeah.
So looks like Shoutcaster
Good call regarding MSI too. Yeah, true.
took a lot of notes, got to learn a lot from the famous duo.
Buddy Lip, we're gonna look at that after this. After this VOD review, we're gonna have a look at the Mordekaiser Protobelt Steel Baron. I want you to know.
Unlike Swordart, who came into Suning in his first split and wasn't really impactful, Shoutcaster has done what everyone wanted out of their LMS representatives. He's come in a very big way. He's represented the region well. And hang on, pause. Chains of Corruption has missed. That's a big ult from Wink that he's hit every other time.
Yeah, I don't think it matters too much that key cooldown being down. If you're Estar, you did just push the top turn as well. But even if you do lose a few minutes of inability to create something, it doesn't matter. You're still so far ahead. You're 6K gold ahead.
Okay. Well, not a big cooldown on that anyway, so...
And going back to your point you were just making about Shoutcaster, it's not even just about him showing up as, you know, an LMS representative. It's how this team has had such good synergy starting out, coming from completely different backgrounds.
I did watch that
Young
Mordekaiser play a lot last
jungler,
night. It was great.
Flash Wolf support, RNG, sub 80 carry into Royal Club LDL players. Like, completely different backgrounds, but their synergy is so perfect.
And, you know, I don't understand it because at the end of the day, who is leading this organization? Well, we can talk a little bit about their coach, Lucky, who at once upon a time was also...
A good moment to talk about PDD. Like, I wasn't writing... I didn't want to talk about PDD because I was just like, well... Success in organizations from, like, people like... we could have gone in depth to the jungle pool of, like, Young Miracles in the past, 2018, 2019. It's like Ning versus Wei, in a way, is actually a really good narrative. But, yeah, I think I was like, I want to talk about Lucky because Lucky is a coach who's been out of the scene for, like, 6 years. And he is, like, you know, a world finalist.
World finalist?
Yeah. 2013, 2012.
2013?
I don't know why I said 2012. I'm a retard.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. It's not something we've talked about a lot on broadcast. He was the star.
Because Royal Club was around in 2012 at Worlds.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're with me.
Royal Club jungler in Season 3. Hey, we've been saying a lot today.
We have been saying a lot.
They're in the
that
finals,
last series was so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone
TPA means Starhorn Royal Club.
I recommend it, but get your glass of Chardonnay for people that don't know, and sit back and relax, because this is a different series
Xiaolong Bao versus Wei. No, Ning versus Wei.
entirely. And again, like, I was looking forward to casting this one. I was looking forward to watching this series, because both Estars and IG right now, if I picked world representatives at the start of the year with their current form, I'd look at these two directly and I'd say, stay like this, and these guys are a menace.
It's so depressing we can't see Estar at, like, let's say MSI in a month like we would normally.
Well, you never know. Well, let's see, because they may have found themselves.
I know the point about MSI you're making.
Stoneplate keeps him alive, and so does Shoutcaster. It's so hard for IG to find a pick.
Yeah, you have a lot of tools to keep the members of your team alive. We just saw him use the lantern.
It's so hard for IG to find a pick. Not necessarily true.
Either way, he's already so tanky with how far ahead Estar are.
But it's much like Wink, where you said before, the ulti doesn't mean too much. Well, the pick doesn't mean too much. Because even though Wei uses the flash, they get the mid lane turret anyway. It's more gold on the side of Estar.
We keep seeing Estar, oh, maybe they waste a key.
We talked a bit about Wink using the ult before, and it's like a balance of like, well, they use something again.
Let's come back to the conversation.
And they get something.
While we are getting a bit of downtime, very surprisingly in this first game, when we talk about Lucky, when we talk about Estar and the direction, you need a very strong voice in this team. The average age that you and I last night at, what was it, 1 o'clock, we're like, let's get the average age of Estar's. 19. 19 and a half is the average age of this 2020 rookie team.
I just need to say my points. It's a good point.
Really
Let me just say it. Just
again, we were
fucking
going
say
with
it.
that
Just be
Chinese Griffin narrative. I remember the average age of Griffin was something like 18. And once again, a very young squad in LPL here, averaging out at 19.
I mean, Wei is 17. And let's see if he can do anything. Teleport's going to...
All right. Gonna pause. Young Miracle's point. Young Miracle's point with Ning. I'm gonna help you through this one, alright? The point is success, and it's not about promoting into the league or any of this shit. The point is the Young Miracle's point with junglers. Sorry, hang on. I might be wrong. I think I've overworked. No, I'm not. I'm not overworked. I should never doubt myself. The point is Young Miracle success with junglers. You made me doubt myself. I shouldn't have. The success of but it's not about year, man. It's not about year. You know what it is? It's about the organization breeds success, right? And this is why narrative is super important in the LPL, because of the deep reserve pool. Young Miracles breed success. Not about year. It's about direction of an organization. Young Miracles breed success. Also, I wish this bottom lane would return. Ning and Ming sounds so much fun. Yeah, all good, Ox. Thanks, man. I thought you were talking about the junglers battling it out. Oh, no. They're very successful junglers. So, like, the narrative with PDD so far is like, okay, they've had Ning, they've had Tien, right? I mean, like, they've had world's MVP junglers. They've had world's MVP junglers. And they look to have another one. Like, sorry. You're on the same page now? Yeah, sorry. Sorry if I made it confusing. I've been working a lot.
Come through. Shoutbite is very,
That's
very
a point
fast.
I'll be talking a lot about on cast in future.
And now the Shy's joining in as well. Shoutzy looking for the hook. He finds Southwind. Yeah. A little meat thing.
The Chinese appetite for low is unparalleled.
Can't avoid this fight. Estar on soul point.
Ning versus Wei would have been a lot of fun.
We're going to benefit from
Ning versus Wei is a storyline, and if they get the playoffs, we're talking about.
And Shoutzy keeps fishing for hooks. If he gets
the right person, but
this game is done.
In terms of like linking through organization.
The
Put Wei on the bench. Yeah, I know.
For a second. Resets. Dragon
Shallenbell's not bad.
I really don't know how IG wins this fight.
Well, with a dredge line to start things off, the equalizer there as well. Wink does get the dragon. Mountain Soul acquired. And now Ning in a bad position up front. He subjugates, he heals, but it's not enough. Wink gets the free hit while Wei dissuades the rest of them. Puff is running low on mana while Southwind takes the damage, but the Shy evaporates. And Estars may have done it. They've taken down two. The flash forward. Shoutzy, ballsy as ever, as Puff has to flash away himself rather. Arcane shift. Estars know there's a Baron waiting for them. It's a free hit while Wei dissuades the rest of them. He subjugates, he heals, but it's not enough.
Good start.
Wink gets the free hit while Wei dissuades the rest of them.
Way displays
Pup
the
is
rest of
running
them.
low
True.
on Matter while Southwind takes the damage, but the
Shallow bar
Shy
as well.
evaporates, and Estars may have done it. They've Matter while Southwind takes it.
A good way for me to say the Shy's just dead.
Away himself rather. Arcane shift. Estars know
Fix my
there's a Baron
mistake.
waiting for them.
Estar out teamfighting the first Chinese world champion, a complete rookie.
Could have been more dramatic from my end.
New
Could have been a lot more dramatic from my end.
Shy, who dies in an instant. Estars get this Baron so quickly that 10k.
But it's also because it's so one-sided. Like, it is a surprise, and we kind of show our shock earlier in the game.
Ahead,
But now it's just like, this is the inevitable,
down.
right?
Once they get ahead,
So I don't think I underhyped it.
So
I didn't think I overhyped
every
it.
single game. Take me through this.
there really isn't much to talk about because as we were setting up this fight, I was going to say, I don't know how IG wins this fight. Even if
Wink
you
is
hit
having a
every
ball
key
here.
ultimate onto Wink, I don't think Wink goes down. Just very easy for Estar to play this front to back. When the Shy doesn't, we just saw that. No damage, very easily for you to get deleted.
And it's not like he doesn't have damage in his kit. The fact is the Mountain Shield, the Bloodthirst are coming through from Wink. That's a lot of white bar on top of this virus.
Well, and it's just when you draft like this, when you draft, again, you're
Back to
picking
the draft.
winning lanes for the Shy, for Rookie. It's really snowball or bust. If you fall behind, you really are relying on
Acknowledgement of the
mechanically
draft.
outplaying your opponent.
And props to Wei, who set this game off in motion, where not only in the bottom side, the top side as well, he punished across the map, and I think he's been the better jungler in game 1 over Ning.
I just want to say 100% kill participation
Yeah, it came from
coming
one
out from
team,
him.
from
And
Young
Shoutcaster
Miracles. I mean,
involved in
that's
14 out of 15. These two
they're kind of
have
amazing. What are they feeding them?
facilitated this game.
And now they're knocking on the door of a game.
So now from here, it's
Come
just
back.
end. It's like,
It's getting close to that point. Invictus Gaming on their last
It really is. You're 10,000 gold ahead. You have the Mountain Soul. I don't think any amount of, crazy shenanigans.
There's that shield I was talking about.
Super baller alpha build coming out of Wink, just pure damage.
ball out.
I like the note of Baller Alpha. Estars now in the bottom lane. They've already gotten the mid lane inhibitor. Wink got it for free. And Mr. Alpha himself is charging up. Puff takes so much damage. And look at Wei. He doesn't care. He can take those trades 1v3.
Yeah, just...
So now we're just knocking down.
They could probably...
Dotting the I's,
Going
crossing the
for straight
T's,
chains
is what we said.
catches him up, and he's not tanky enough to deal with Wink. A decent equalizer, but you know this game is ending here. Estars jump everything onto the Shy. They run forward. They lose 0 members in the trade, and IG have to watch as their base burns.
Estar, so decisive this game, shutting down again former world champions in 33 minutes.
Jordan's carried a lot of the narrative
Final
this game.
push coming through. The first Nexus turret will be taken down, and those
But I
former
like
world
that.
champions have been outclassed, outplayed, and Shoutcaster is just so good with this Thresh. He put on a clinic in game 1, as did the rest of Estar versus Invictus Gaming.
Put on a clinic. Yeah.
Right now, IG...
I just say that a lot.
And Estar's still able...
Post game,
What a clean game. The gold
I don't care about. Post game, just for everyone out there, for a caster, it's like a wrap up of what you talked about in game. Go through, just see what the color wants to talk about. Just go from there. Post game, I don't put much value on. I put even less value on post game than pick ban.
Threat if Wink...
It's just a conversation about what you talked about in game.
because lane adversity.
So, from game 1, what have we learned? We did talk a little bit about IG's global success and also their failings. We talked a lot about how these guys are rookies. That came through once. Shoutcaster, we did talk really nicely in the early game about Shoutcaster and Southwind's different play styles. And we talked a lot about the different team styles. The Chinese Griffin was a point. I'm not sure if that's ever going to come up. I'm not sure if it's worth bringing up again. Let's do it again. Let's do the second game. There's only 2 games.
It's always been one of the things that makes a world champion.
Let's do it again. I'm not the baller alpha. Oh yeah, let's play this song here. Let's listen to this while I read chat. Post game needs to have more. Yes, more Omnistone. True. I'm excited to see this matchup in playoffs. It'd be really good. This would be a really good best of 5. I think this would be a really good best. IG and best of 5s are really hard to deal with. From experience watching them, just like the way their draft changes and the way they adapt is just crazy. Like in a best of 3, I have to say in this series, it was Estar who made the adaptation, but I don't know. I think they are Chinese Griffins, yeah. So, we've had a big focus on Estar so far. Even though people say, you know, we talk a lot about IG, we've talked...
Estars have all...
We've talked 70% of the time about Estars, 60, 70%.
Already blown their way massively into this series with an...
I said Estars have blown their way in.
Where we now go towards game number 2. Lyric, Hysterics. I'm out of breath. That was because I ran to the bathroom. But also...
Bathrooms are very far away from the studio.
Also because after
Just
that
saying.
finish of game number 1, where
Rise,
expectations were
Pog.
just not as they seemed.
Yeah, seeing this matchup was so fun because they are just such polar opposite teams like we set up before that first game. One team that is
I like my
heavily
suit.
just focused on solo lane
I don't
play,
like the crinkle
really
there.
individual
What's
skill
happening?
focus. The other team is completely about team play and getting their bot lane ahead.
And that team play shot up and destroyed IG. And after that game 1, you give MVP to Shoutcaster. Shoutcaster played that Thresh like he'd been playing it for a millennia.
Again, we look at that 5 MVP
I didn't
count.
say the
He has
word
most
clinic.
MVPs out of any support. He really is showing up in this league. Someone you didn't really have a lot
Team
of
that
eyes
rises
on
from
coming out on the
challenger and
LMS.
challenges everyone,
Again,
yeah.
remember what we were talking about. Shoutcaster is
Have
like,
you
okay,
not heard
he's
of
the
plastic
flashful
bottle?
support. I didn't think he was that great.
That flash flay was beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, the thing that's great about Shoutcaster,
It's going to Big
Going to
Ben.
game 2, Puff and Southwind were left on an island, and in other games that would be fine. IG would win through those solo lanes, but they couldn't. They couldn't win
Solo
through the
lane
bush, they
talk
couldn't
again.
win through the rumble. IG are once again on the blue side. They've chosen this side here, Lyric.
yep, we see both teams actually prefer the sides they're on. Estar love
Cool.
red side,
Side
IG
selection.
love blue side this split. This is actually only their second loss on this side right now.
Okay.
They
My
are
suit, what do you mean? My suit is
9-2, if I
tailored.
remember
What are you
correctly. Yep,
talking about? That one is
Yep,
tailored.
9-2. But the difference we already see here coming
That
out of
is-
IG is them banning the Jarvan.
Where
It
are
is
we? Where's
Way's
me?
most played champion this split.
Yeah, apart from that, Way was spamming
tailored,
counter at
man.
the start, so it drops off a little bit after that.
Shellacking.
Set going to be taken away from
Shellacking.
Estars as well. And do
You
we
mean
get rid
Spawn?
of... I mean, like, you're not going to ban
Spawn
Malphite,
is
right?
shellacking.
I was going to
Ban
say the other
Rumble.
question I would have is the Rumble. Because if you
Why is
want to
that?
change something up, again, we've seen both Xiaobai and Krine play this champion as well. It's Krine's most played champion.
And has been the Shy's focus as well. So
What
it
is
must
this?
be a priority to get rid
What
of
is
that.
this?
And the Nico taken away from IG.
What's that? What is
Makes me wonder if he's
Is
going to
this-
go towards that Varus
this?
for Puff, because it is Puff's
What are they
most
doing?
played champion, and
Yep.
there it is. And it's something he really finds a lot of
Nike?
comfort on and gives
this
the
Nike?
IG bot lane some aggression to play with.
Also, I like taking it away from Wink after that.
That
last
looks
game.
like a
After
tick. That looks like
first
Nike.
game, that blew the bottom lane.
Super
out.
loose. It ain't.
Yeah, and I
It's
would
just
expect
because of the
to see
position.
Wink go
It's
back
tight. I
to something
swear it's
like
tight.
a Misfortune.
Okay.
It has, again, it's just the best meta pick we have for an ADC. It's something he's played 6 games.
Alright, let's talk about change
Yeah,
of
and I
draft.
would expect to see we have for an ADC. It's something he's played 6 games of. We'll feel really confident on. And we always see Wei also locked
Champion
in as a
identity with
jungler.
players.
He's a Jarvan. He's a Lee Sin player. And Lee is not something we know him for.
But
Actually,
it's definitely up that kind of alley, isn't it?
It
We're
is
talking Lee Sin.
up the same alley, but week 1, Estar were perma-banning this champion. It was not something Wei was
cool.
playing.
And Ning hasn't been playing it, so
In-depth
they just get it for
information.
free, of course.
Noting that
And
Nick
we
doesn't
see
play it,
Estar
so it's
making
just
an
there.
adaptation that they made against BLG, where they started early picking this Renekton and actually putting Xiaobai on an aggressive pick and giving Xiaobai some resources.
And to match someone like the Shy, that's exciting for me. Because we still don't know what this solo lane is going to be on Invictus Gaming. Now,
Okay.
Ning,
So far, so
on
good.
the Olaf here is a pick he picked a lot last year.
yeah, Ning on the Olaf is
true.
a very strong pick in the LPL. Actually kind of surprising that Wei wouldn't pick that up himself. It is a very good pick against the Varus' Chain of Corruptions.
But I
True.
love that IG are taking away the exact bottom lane that Estar's played against them in game
I was
1.
going to say, we didn't know what kind of adaptation they'd make coming
This
into game
Champions
2,
League
but
is
we see
really
what they're doing.
flowing.
They're trying to deny
Jordan, I know you're
Estar
still
on
in
a lot
here.
of these
This one's
comfort
really
picks that they're
flowing.
known for.
I mean, the question to me is, where does that transition
Toy it like a
go
toy.
across
Yeah.
draft? Pantheon picked up here for Crime.
Estar are going a completely different route this game, and now they're going for the
J4
early
Ban
snowball.
is just
They
targeted
have
towards
two
Way. He's just played
aggressive
so much J4.
lane bully champions with an Elise.
So to IG transition across the map and play out something like the Shy.
Oh, computer,
Vladimir
stop
we've
it.
seen in the past where they can look towards a more Estar style.
That's a ban towards Renekton.
I really don't know what we should expect out of IG. Again, IG is one of those teams that will always throw you a curveball. I would expect them, though. We already know we're going to see bot lane bans,
Oh,
obviously,
good.
because they've banned everything else.
Frame
But
drops.
maybe focus down
Interesting.
Wink's champion pool. Guess not. Because Shoutcaster has showed he can play everything. He plays every style of champion. Wink really only has a few options left that are still meta. You have the Misfortune. You have the Ezreal because you yourselves
champion identities are really strong.
What's deeper in Wink's pool?
Jordan,
remember that we talked about it just coming back.
Jordan, you're still in here. This is our homework.
This is the nanny. Southwind is acting more like Shoutcaster, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Shoutcaster act more like the nanny of Southwind. We see the Syndra.
Really convoluted narrative. Just simplify. Where are we? Simplify your narrative. Narrative points. Be short and sharp. That seems like a bit of a thing.
And locked in. Does that mean Syndra bot?
It means Syndra bot or Pantheon bot.
Well, Pantheon support. We've
yeah,
seen Shoutcaster's plays set support, so this wouldn't be outside of the realms.
We also have seen this in the LPL done in Rogue Warriors against V5.
And Senna's still open.
Yeah.
So if they want to do the fasting Pantheon.
Both of these teams have stayed away from Senna since week 1, so since this fasting Senna has become a thing, it has been their permaban against teams that do play
I have to
Senna.
say, I have a good grasp on the meta somehow at the moment. Don't know why, but I do.
Well, we got one final pick to
Maybe because
find
I'm
out
doing
what
so much
Estar's
fucking
doing with their
casting.
comp, while IG return to what they know.
Maybe Rookie goes towards something like the Orianna. When you do have a lot of these like scary flexes on the sides of Estar, maybe you just go back to comfort.
Jordan, we're really firing in this champs league. This is our best champs league
He's
so
played
far.
next to the Rumble so far this split. But it is actually banned.
It's natural.
So excuse me,
Oh,
that's
it is
my
banned,
bad.
yeah.
However,
I'm sorry too.
what else can impact the team fight? We're along the same lines with the Lysandra finally locked in.
You just want to pick a very safe laner when you look at some kind of flex picks like Estar are doing, because again, you don't know what you're going to play against. This Lysandra's nice because it just neutralizes a lot of lanes. And the Blitzcrank has been something we've seen Shoutcaster do very well on this split.
We saw a very standard draft in Game 1 from Estar. Now, how do they play with Chaos? How do they play with more like a V5 style draft? Because that's what this is with the Blitzcrank finally locked in.
Acknowledgement of another team.
Week against BL
V5 if you haven't
2
seen.
days ago, I'm sorry.
Played a crazy fucking draft.
Against BLG, Estar showed a new dimension to their gameplay, playing around topside with Xiaobai. And once again, they're showing another layer of what they can do if they can pull this off. And IG are going back to a lot more of a standard composition. Really strong team fighting, really strong skirmishing. They have a lot of.
How do we transition out of champs league? That's important.
The Ning on the Olaf excites me. It revisits 2019 for me. I want to wait these 10 seconds, but
Mask is back on, you can hear
it. Going to take it. Seeing Wink on an ADC, quote-unquote, Syndra, is exciting. I mean, Estars have actually just gone for a total flip around of draft.
It's really strange when we built Wink up this split to, again, he's shadowed under Uzi. He's a very Uzi-like player. He's going to get all the resources.
Identity.
He wouldn't be the type of player you'd expect to play a mage champion.
Yeah, remember, it was at 2018 where all the 80 carries moved away, or maybe even last year. Where all the
2018 summer.
Yeah, all the 80 carries got moved out, and Uzi was the only one playing standard. And that's why you expect Wink to constantly play standard, even in this meta. So it's interesting, with a Blitzcrank Syndra, you know how
Simplify my points.
Will it work against
I overtalk.
This is a coin flip, right? We don't know if it's going to work. IG and Estar don't know if it's going to work. You're just going to have to hope you can get ahead and keep that snowball rolling, which Estar showed they could do in Game 1.
Because if they fall behind, it looks like, okay, we're going to a Game 3, right? Like, if this composition from Estar falls behind, is it just everything out?
It should be over, but when you do have so much burst on the side of Estar, there is always an option of finding some kind of pick when
so
you know how aggressively IG like to play.
Do IG need to play slow, though, before we go into game?
I think IG has a lot of points they could pressure, like
this is a harder game.
3v3 when you have something like
purely
Olaf,
just to cast
maybe
from
your mid
like
top laner need to play a bit more. So it really depends on can they get vision of way, and then can they make a counterplay,
and can they fight back in this series? Estar came in with such a good-looking Game 1. They've now turned draft around and they've gone completely the other way. We're going to see if the diversity of Estar comes through, or if IG can finally get a game win against this rookie powerhouse on the board.
Really strong level 1 champions coming out from IG. Olaf.
Maybe rookie is the wrong word to use for Estar.
Thresh, of course, too, very strong. So
LPL
looks
rookies
like they were threatening a bit of an invade, but Wei wasn't a very
LPL rookies is fair.
Everything's going to be fine.
But did they get a ward down to spot out any more information? At the moment they didn't, but the Shy is still there. We'll have a quick look across the board. Because apart from the exhaust onto Southwind, I see a Comet on the Syndra in the bottom lane. And I do see a Syndra in the bottom lane, so that's enough to really make you wonder how bot is going
focus
to go.
on the lane, which is the Syndra Blitz.
The weird thing about this series is we said IG needs to make an adaptation. But we came into the series, and Estar were the one who made an adaptation, really. Yeah. They first rotation Elise Renekton, a completely different style to what you would expect.
And a style that, you know, when you see Wei, you think, okay, I think about the Jarvan. I think about how it's gone so far in the split. Testing out his merit on a new jungler is going to be the question. It's a top side start here for Wei on this Elise, and a bottom side start for Ning on the Olaf.
Okay, we want to see how junglers interact with the lanes. That's fair.
Kind of as we would expect.
Youthful.
The interesting thing is that Very is just backing off, not contesting the wave at all. I want to see what Wei does with this, and if he looks for a really early gank level 2 or 3 on mid, at least not really level 2 ganking jungler, so it would be level 3. When you have an AD soul laner and AP jungler, it is the play you expect to see.
And a Pantheon as well to open him up. We've talked about roaming with our Pantheon in the LPL.
And we've talked about point-and-click CC from...
I just have to say, we're really bouncing off each other well. Jordan, you still in here? Jordan, you said you were doing work. Are you in here? The way we've started this early game is really natural. I think Jordan's interest in the game and just like his experience with League of Legends and I really like learning about this game. Like, I'm horrible at fucking League. You guys have watched me stream. I'm horrible at League. But just the conversation back and forth and going back to each other's points. Like, Jordan set up the dive bottom lane. Hang on. I need to, give me 2 seconds. Let me message him. He needs to be messaged here. Where is he? Where is Jordan? Oi! Come back in stream. I'm complimenting us. There we go. Alright. Sorry about that, chat. So just the flow here in the early game. And look, I don't compliment my cast a lot. Like, I really don't. I'm super critical, as you've already seen. But our early game has been really nice. Like, hello, finally. Our early game has been really, really nice. Just like, listen to the first 2 minutes here. Now, we haven't exactly set up drafts. I've been a bit sloppy in the way that I've set up.
Stars came in with such a good-looking game 1. They've now turned draft around, and they've gone completely the other way.
The focus of this game is how, like, Estars have just switched around their draft. IG have as well, but it's not the focus draft.
This rookie powerhouse on the board.
Because the focus draft is Estars because it's a Blitz Syndra bot, it's a Pantheon mid. Like, it's a real different identity. Where in Invictus Gaming, we know they can be versatile. We've seen them before. Focus on Estar.
Spotted them, and everything's going to be fine.
But did they get a ward down to spot out any more information? At the moment they didn't, but the Shy is still there. We'll have a quick look.
Understanding jungle starts, right?
Because apart from the exhaust on the Southwind, I see a Comet on the Syndra in the bottom lane.
I like taking stock of the game.
And I do see a Syndra in the bottom lane, so that's enough to
bring
really
conversation to
make
Wing
you
and
wonder
Chelsea.
How bot is going to go.
Yeah, and the weird thing about this series is we said IG needs to make an adaptation. But we came into the series.
Now, a lot of colors do this. And it's like, he might not want to talk about Wink and Chelsea straight away.
And Estar were the one who made an adaptation.
But it's the adaptation of the draft itself.
First rotation, Elise Renekton, a completely different style to what you would expect.
And I see that Wei's going like, Jordan's going towards Elise Renekton, right?
And a style that, you know, when you see Wei, you think, okay, I think about the Jarvan. I think about how it's gone so far in the split. Testing out his merit.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into Wei.
Is going to be the question. It's a top
I could have gone to Xiaobai's like
for Wei on this
ability now to challenge lane.
Start for Ning
against game 1 when we had no say as a Malco.
Rounding out kind of as we would expect. The interesting thing is that Cryin is just backing off, not contesting the wave at all. I want to see what Wei does with this, and if he looks for a really early gank level 2 or 3 on mid, at least not really level 2 ganking jungler, so it would be level 3. When you have an AD soul laner and AP jungler, it is the play you expect to see.
And a Pantheon as well to open him up. We've talked about roaming with our Pantheon in the LPL.
And we've talked about point-and-click CC from Cryin setting up that
really, like that transition's really nice. Because like in Champ Select in the start of the game, we're talking about Cryin being enabled to roam bot because like even though it's a difference in draft, it's still the ability to open Crying up and get towards Wink and Shoutzy.
Execution comes down to it. Has teleport on the mid lane Pantheon as
Weird
well.
phrase from me.
No ignite for the full aggression that we've seen out of other teams.
Yep. The cool thing also from this comp from Estar is it sets up for the playstyle that they love to do so much. Gank mid, get pressure with Crying, and then use that Pantheon ultimate, bring it to bot lane.
Yeah, it fixed my point.
The FPX blend with RNG here for the style of E-Stars, but this game definitely feels more
I brought that up again.
like FPX as
That's okay.
Good scat of the week. Shoutzy, I don't know if he had hook there, but didn't use
FPX
it anyway.
Light still suits the style.
Puff is dangerously low, and we see on the mini-map that Wei was looking towards the mid lane like we talked about. But it looks like they couldn't find anything. Rookie really respecting that level 3 gank.
Just pings out where he's going. A deep ward spotted towards Raptors, but up at Scuttle. That's where the first fight between junglers could start.
And like you just mentioned with this FPX RNG kind of gonna slow down.
Because you see a spider go on top and Wei spotted out, but it doesn't matter. Now the Shy has to 1v2. Xiaobai is low, but Ning is here as well. He's got a level advantage over Elise. The flash is there. Crying matches into the cocoon. They turn. He starts with first blood again. Now the Shy has to 1v3. He gets the Q, but he flashes away too. Rookie comes in for the trade kill, but he has to burn his summoner. Can he take this? Crying has double buffs and is willing to turn around.
Frozen
but
Thralls
IG
did something, but
lose another early game fight.
Estar giving the people the show they wanted. Non-stop bloodlust in this game was kind of scary on the end of that fight with
Could
that
have been more
Lissandra
specific with
passive,
language.
But still, Estar able to walk away just fine. 2-for-1 trade coming out on the side of Estar.
And again, we talk about the commitment out of Estar and what makes them so good. Xiaobai does TP in.
Acknowledgement.
They all commit to a play. They're all on the same board. No one is really looking clumsy here. That turnaround from Crying and the rest of Estar, everybody was in.
Everyone's in, but we...
Okay, so the narrative for Estar is like their synergy is so damn good. That's an early narrative point, continuing that we started at the beginning of the series. In a series, we'll often stretch out our narrative and we'll go, what is the main focus? Let's just quickly have a look at this doc one more time. Like, why haven't I put this in? Okay, but like this... That was the narrative that we talked about. Dragon control, team fighting, synergy for E-Stars. They're all in a line. And that's what we've been hitting since game one. So we've hit this really well. I think we've hit this really nicely. E-Stars narrative has been fine. We've touched on IG, but IG have been losing out so much that we've kind of been lightly stepping on that. And I think that's fine. We always have focus on IG in series, so it's a breath of fresh air.
Junglers here on top side coming out.
Okay.
Nothing gonna happen.
Just a cocoon there, showing a bit of presence here. Opening as Rookie in a bit of trouble mid, Crying. Oh no, this is not going well for IG across Summoner's Rift, even in the bottom lane. Shoutzy picks up a kill, and Southwind in a bit of a pickle himself. The flash flay forward, he thinks he has the damage, but he doesn't. Both summoners used here by Southwind.
E-Stars mechanically outplaying the team we described as like skill expression and better mechanical individuals. Sadly, we didn't see how any of those kills started, but Rookie looking really shaky, getting solo killed by Crying. We also saw him get solo killed the other day against Yuki from LGD.
Yeah, we did. And look, for Rookie, he goes back into that lane, versing a double buff Pantheon. We'll see how this started, because he just walks up to the wave.
Just walks too far forward. We do see those double buffs on Crying. And Pantheon, of course, just so strong in these early game skirmishes.
Yeah. I mean, observe him.
He's not even pressing anything. Oh, no. Good scat of the week.
So IG's bot lane are the aggressors. This is not the position we typically see IG's bot lane in. Just, again, good scatter of the week coming out from Wink. And very easy follow-through on the side of Estar.
Coming back to Rookie, that's so uncharacteristic out of this 2018, in a way. All right, no.
Sometimes you say dumb shit on cast.
Okay, I know you're looking at me because of moments past, but for the start of this split, Rookie has been super consistent.
I looked at week one Rookie, and he was pretty okay, to my credit. But it was like, Rookie hasn't been inconsistent. It's very characteristic.
You're thinking 2019. All right, look, let's pause for a second, because Shoutzy presses the horn, and Rookie's dead again. Over to Wink.
I'm thinking like 5 days ago against LGD, Lucian versus
Sometimes you say dumb shit.
That's fair.
And we see it again 2 minutes later. This is how IG.
And then like I stopped and I thought, and I went to myself, is it like, has Rookie really been super consistent? And I went, actually wait. And I thought, well, 2019, I mean, Rookie at the start of spring was very good. And then Rookie in summer was like, and he had some moments of brilliance. It's still typical Rookie. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. I had a bit of a dislike. Rookie point. Lol, he is inconsistent. There we go.
To play. Again, they don't show a lot of respect for their opponents. They
Consistently
really are
doing
trying
stuff
to
like this.
get every inch they can against their opponents.
Inconsistent in a
Characteristic
consistent
of
way.
Rookie, but it's also in the bottom lane. That Puff is now called out. Crine uses the ulti down.
What can you do
and
but laugh
look
at
at
yourself?
this. Estar are tearing IG a new one.
I feel really bad because 2 days ago we
State
casted
of the
Estar
series.
against BLG. We said Estar have no,
IG are
they don't have a lot of
tearing
legit
it.
wins
Estar's
on
are
the
tearing
table.
IG a
They
new
need
one.
to prove to us that they are a top team in LPL.
Hey, they beat FPX. I mean, that started the hype train for Estar and looking very seriously at this game. We're trending towards Estar becoming the best team in the LPL, unquestionably.
Yeah, Estar are putting their name in that
Unquestionably.
conversation, really, with FPX coming back.
Even
to
though
form.
people will
We're
say,
gonna ask that question a little bit later. Shout by against the turret. The Shy is hitting him. He gets one. No! Oh, Shout by shuts down Ning and the Shy. A bit later, Shout.
Putting their name in that conversation, really, with FPX coming back to form.
Oh, we got to ask that question a little bit later. Shout by against the turret. The Shy is hitting him. He gets one. No! We got to ask that question a little bit later. Shout by against the turret. The Shy
I just needed more awareness of this play.
is hitting him. Unquestionably.
Yeah, Estar are
I don't
putting their
know.
name in that conversation, really, with FPX coming back to form.
Oh, we got to ask that question a little bit later. Shout by against the turret. The Shy is
If
hitting
Ning
him.
just
He gets
kept
one.
going,
No!
it's probably okay.
Oh, Shout by shuts down Ning and the Shy.
I was just so unexpected that play at that point. That was just, that
Estar
was
are
just shit. There's nothing
losing.
more to say than
IG,
that.
I'm
That
sorry,
was
are
just
losing
shit.
absolutely everywhere on
I
the
just wasn't
map.
ready for
Losing in
that play.
mid, losing in bot lane, losing in top. Our weak side player in Xiaobai coming out on top. IG completely
Yeah.
mis-executing
I
that
just
dive.
wasn't
A
aware for
3-1 Renekton, a 3-0 Pantheon. The bottom lane is fed, and Wei is laughing. We're going to watch this one again, because Xiaobai held on, and he got 6 at the right time.
Great slice and dice coming out, but yeah, just backing off. Ning over-aggressing a little bit, hitting that 6
Cues the
perfectly
wave
at the right
against
time,
6.
and the Shy, wrong place, wrong
Rescue,
time.
And now Southwind will get one. Okay, Wink's caught out. So that's the second kill for IG. I do like League of Legends.
And here we do see this Blade of
I think I'm having a mental breakdown at the start of this
the
game.
Rookie
From what was
build
a
coming out
strong
from the
start,
We've already talked about this a lot.
consistency is
Puff
key,
has
ladies
just
and gentlemen.
walked in blindly into Xiaoxi. The lantern interrupted. Very nice rocket grabbers. In comes Cryan. And Puff, will he die here? That's the new question.
Yes.
Xiaoxi chasing after him. The death sentence comes through. You say yes, and Puff says no. Unfortunately, there's a third person named Cryan in that conversation. Xiaoxi gets the hook. Now, hitbox is a question mark there, but Estar's getting yet another.
The thing, again, I love is Estar keeps showing us.
It's 8 minutes in, 11 kills. Now, this will happen a lot with LPL games, especially games like Cast, where I get caught up in the madness a little bit, and I get a bit chaotic. And because the game's chaotic, I don't take the time
more
to breathe
and more
just call the
layers
play.
to their team.
And they keep fighting. They just...
And then I just throw in, like, layers of my own questions. So, like, feedback for me, just to throw in. Let's just put it in laning phase. Lacking of acknowledgement of game set. I had that before, but just read the state of the game plus the state of the play. Don't bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit there I used to
not
cover.
stop this. Great Cocoon, once again, there is a ultimate available here for Ning, but doesn't pop the Ragnarok. Meanwhile, Estar get more gold in the bottom lane through turret plating, and Crine presses Q once, and that hurts.
He just doesn't stop. Xiaoxi throws that Q every time it's off cooldown.
8 minutes in, 11 kills, very much an IG game, but not to their merit, especially not this time.
Yeah, slowing down in Game 1 we talked about Chinese grip.
That's probably my strongest point. Just saying.
Though it's true from a narrative standpoint, playstyle-wise, it's completely different. Griffin were a very slow team, did like to get a lot of farm onto Tarzan in the jungle.
Chinese Griffin
That is not what Estar is about at all. They do not know what the word slow means.
I mean, it's very much about the fact that, like, you put Chinese in front of it, and that insinuates the LPL style, which is faster-paced League of Legends. But we talked about the age before in game number 1. Very low combined for this team. And the fact that we're looking at them on the precipice of destroying IG kind of shows you how, at the start of the split, they already look developed.
They're still developing, they're still growing. I guess development.
Yeah, again, each game more and more they are adding new dimensions to their gameplay. At first, they just looked like this team who only know how to dive bot, and they showed us a few games where they were able to play around Xiaobai. And now here we go again, them pulling off this completely unconventional draft with Wink on the syndrome.
What the flash forward onto the right.
I just said what the fuck on broadcast, but you didn't notice it, did you?
A few games where they were able to play around Xiaobai, and now here we go again, them pulling off this completely unconventional draft with Wink on the syndrome.
What the flash forward?
I literally just got away with saying what the fuck, but putting flash there instead. I didn't even realize I did that.
Here we go again, them pulling off this completely unconventional draft with Wink on the syndrome.
What the flash forward?
You hear that? You hear that? I just said, what the flash forward?
Onto the Ragnarok Olaf, but he gets pulled in first. Cryin now caught out a little bit. The Shy gets a bit of AoE, but that scatter the weak through. Xiaobai says no. The Shy has to run for the hills, and Puff has no statement to make. 3 more kills, and Xiaoxi almost hits another.
This team just keeps going. They're continuously finding picks, and IG are just walking into them blind. 4K gold lead at 10 minutes.
The game's over at this point. And my energy's dropped. It's still like a bit of a smacking
10 minutes
kind of
into the game
though.
against IG. That is a big feat, and Way is on the
smacking
precipice
like,
of a Rift Herald.
How do I explain that?
We talked about before this game. What?
Oh, no. No.
It's become
you
comical.
You don't want to be here, Southwind. The only reason he's alive is Wink doesn't have ulti.
It has become comical.
We talked about before this game what happens if Estar aren't able to snowball this draft, and they showed us there's no way they wouldn't be able to snowball a draft like this.
I mean, this is a pretty big snowball at 10 minutes into the game. Pretty confident play so far.
And it's also how these two styles just match up. We already said IG are a team that never really stop contesting. They never really stop overstepping in their lanes. They're always looking for those aggressive plays. So this game would always tend to be a stomp one way or the other. But here, just great hook coming out from Shoutcaster. We just see all the damage coming in from Estar. It's really weird to note that IG are the ones who chose to go in on this, but we just see how far ahead Estar are. Great damage coming out from Way, and Xiaobai just walking away from it scot-free.
Such a confident hook. He had vision, by the way, on the corner of that new brush heading into River. But even so, just such a nicely placed look. And look at the gold lead at the moment. Everyone from Estar ahead of the most fed member in Puff on IG.
Chassis doesn't count.
I was going to say, the gold graph says it all.
Waiting, look, he's waiting for Krugs. Oh no, Krugs are IG buyers. What the heck? That's not fair, but neither is this Rift Herald push. Turret plating fully available.
Okay.
First turret of the game
so we're
available.
Just, at this point, it's just like
now
Estars have won.
5,000 gold ahead at 12 minutes into the game.
And now, when a game's over like this in the LPL, a lot of the time we'll just go to narrative, we'll go to story, what this means for standings.
Comfortable lead. And Wink is still getting a lot of gold.
But because it's Invictus Gaming,
10.5.
it's like a never say die on the game itself.
Accelerating the Estar snowball even faster.
And when you look at what you're going up against, a Pantheon with Youmu's as flash forward, Puff wants to take the fight here, Cryin dodges a lot of the damage, but 3 versus 1, make that 4. That's a shutdown onto Cryin. That slows the game down, but Puff, rather Southwind, dodges away.
Puff showing a bit of swagger himself. This is not what we typically
There's a big pick, but they're still so far ahead that I don't care.
This is a lot more of a Jackie Love-esque play. Puff is an 80 carry. We know to just stand back, play from the backline, but they see Cryin overstepping in the mid lane. Very decisive flash coming out from the IG 80 carry.
What's my reaction?
At least get something, you know, in return.
The Mountain Dragon on top of that, that's very significant. And at this point, they may have found Way as well, looking for the dive deep into the side of the jungle. Southwind gets blocked by a little Spiderling as the Shy comes over the wall. Wei gets exhausted and flashes away. IG so far behind, they shouldn't be making plays, but they are. Consistent as all hell as the Shy doesn't have an ult to lean on.
Because it's a lot used,
but they turn it around. Puff walking forward, he has no other choice and dies as well. As Xiaobai and Wink close in on Invictus Gaming. They tried, they wanted to get something from Estars, but Estars wouldn't let them.
IG think they can make this.
So the reason that comes up, the reason that gets hype behind it and that gets energy is because at that point when IG are actually forcing summoners and already got the pick on Cryin, it's like, wow, actually maybe can they win this fight? So there's a bit of doubt. I think the doubt makes it okay.
In the mid lane
and then it's just like, no, I was wrong. Holy crap, they're still fed.
But Estar showing them, no, we are too far ahead. You might be former world champions, but we are the best team in this league right now.
Shoutcaster just alphas the chicken off of Rookie as well. That's the game state here. 16-3, okay. 7,000 just about now on the board.
Better game state here.
Still available with how quick the game's gone. And
just a reminder, because after that play happened, you're looking at it like, well, Estars essentially are still in this lead. How much are they in this lead though after that play? More than before.
Estar just constantly keeping up this aggression. We see here.
Yeah,
great
and then Jordan facilitating it with that nice comment.
IG are just deleted.
So coordinated from the side of Estar, and I was going to compliment IG after Puff got that pick where IG will try again. They'll try the same play, and despite the gold lead, they'll be consistent with how they're going to win their games. But this time around, Estars punished them really thoroughly, and all they can do is say, well, Puff and Southwind, it looks like it's up to you.
It's really surprising to see
aiming at IG where,
not
like, who's going to be the core carry if there ever was one.
But also,
so that's
over these team fights, and they've always been 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of IG.
Because let's look at the last team that came into the LPL that had good synergy, which was Sino Dragon, right? As Blue Buff is going to get taken away. Sorry, Ning. It was Sino Dragon in 2019 spring. Okay. But even then, they came from the LDL. They had time to refine their play style.
They played together for a long time.
That's right. And they developed that synergy through playing in the LDL. Here, Estar, they've played individually on the LDL. They've played in brief moments with each other, but not all as a unit, not all together. So this is just insane to think that this team has developed over such a short period of time with nothing but the LPL games to work off of.
Now we're going to see.
Okay, so from a narrative perspective, that's fine. I like that. From a narrative perspective, I think that's actually just
picks in the jungle if
a good
IG
point.
overstep, but Xiaobai just
because this game,
always looking for.
Even against IG, is over. And we know the result now in hindsight.
Didn't visit, but this
game,
he got a better matchup.
We saw Xiaobai really did struggle in terms of CS, but he has held it together 6-1 and 3 on the
Oh no, Puff has missed his ultimate. They hook in Cryin, but now they definitely don't want to take the fight. I may have misspoken. Stopwatch going to be used here, but a Cocoon maxes, lands at max range. Wink hits the 2-man scatter of the week, and Xiaobai's now coming in. IG, a Torn, and Wink half health Ning.
Estar trying to make this aggressive play, but IG did get too close to their tower for Estar to follow.
And the hook that comes through. Goodbye, Rookie. IG left with 4. Xiaobai dominance over the wall. Lucky that the Shy gets out with the help of Southwind, but they're in front of another Rift Herald, and Estar say thank you.
When you look...
Been a lot of focus on IG, and when Rookie in the past has sacrificed himself, or there's been a mistake, IG have capitalized. But how do they capitalize out of this? Teleport coming in, the Shy flashes in. They're so far behind, they still want to take the play. Teleport getting matched.
There's 2 flashes.
IG ready. It's on to Cryin, but they can't get anything else.
IG have played the same way for 2 years. We always know what they're going to do. We always know they're going to consistently
at this point in the game,
it doesn't
even when
matter
they're so
how
far behind,
they are.
Yeah. IG are forcing, IG are forcing like 2 flashes out of Wink and Shoutcaster. They're forcing summoners behind, and that's why we have to have a balance here in this cast of the expectation is IG have done this before with like bigger gold disadvantages, and even though Estar look clean, potential is always there. And plus, team compositions we set up, it's like about getting the snowball rolling for Estar. It's like a reverse of game 1 where IG, if they play out time, can actually come back into this game. So we always have that in the back of our head.
A lot of situations though where if you
and
are
that's
the better
why like I have to start ramping up with like actually
you get to show
what
your
happens if they do
skill.
get a pick.
That's how you come out on top. If you can keep dragging out this game with these long bloody skirmishes, we can get to a point where IG can take it.
slowing the game down for Invictus Gaming. I mean, many times before has Rookie and the Shy put themselves in such a good position when they're 0-4 behind, by the way.
I was going to say, they're 8,000 gold behind. Even though I just said maybe they can do it.
Maybe it's a strong word.
It's very
but
not
with
likely.
realistic expectations like that they're still super far behind.
We have seen Invictus still fight their way back.
Oh.
Having said that, E-Stars have been so consistent this series and have been so on point. 17-3 as a big reminder at 18 minutes. And an Ocean Dragon sitting in there with an Ocean Soul.
Our match between our top two teams likely to come out under an hour as the series as a whole.
John doing a really good job of tracking the series on like everything that's been a part
to
of
go
it.
up against Invictus
He's got a
Gaming
much better memory than mine.
and just have such a dominating win. And we have to be very prepared for if this comes to a 2-0, if E-Stars continue this and close out this game, they will be 7-0, 7-1, excuse me. IG will be 6-1. E-Stars will be at the top of the leaderboard, and they've been tested against FPX. Now they're testing themselves against IG in a very successful manner. Who's left? Like LNG, DMO, Vici, RNG are not looking like they're in top form.
So I like this discussion because we haven't talked about like what happens after this for E-Star. I made a statement at the start of this cast, and I said that if E-Star win this series, they will be unquestionably the best team in the LPL. Now, do I think that? Yes and no. I think yes with FPX, they're technically the best team. FPX weren't performing with Khan. Now they have Gimgoon. FPX are actually into their element once again. But they've got their head-to-head win. That's enough for me to say, well, they've been an element of FPX. That's important. But most importantly, what other team comes close to IG at the moment? RNG aren't playing well at all. Like, RNG have fallen off a cliff when at the start of the split, even with Betty, they were playing good. And now it's like, okay, JDG? Well, I'm pretty sure E-Star have played against JDG, have they not? Let's just quickly touch on this. So an important narrative point here, when the game looks like it's said and done, because we get hardly any time in the LPL. Like, we get our post-game death segments, but they're so inconsistent for times that we actually don't know, like, how long we have. Let's look at E-Star, see who they've versed. Rogue Warriors, FPX is a big win. LGD, they lost to EDG, which was surprising. BLG in its way is a big win. V5, and then IG. They haven't versed JDG. They haven't versed LNG. DMO is going to be a pushover. JDG. WE. They need to verse RNG. Where's that? Where is RNG? RNG? Oh, sorry. Vici, RNG. Vici, RNG was AFK. Welcome back, sir. RNG. We're just talking about, because the narrative point I brought up is that E-Star... Who else? Who else is in their way after this IG win? That's what I'm saying towards the end of this second game. It's like RNG, LNG maybe. OMG technically, JDG, top of there. So there's still potential that they won't hit the top of the scoreboard, but honestly, I think like in their first split, the chance of them getting first or second is very high. So that's why the conversation comes through.
So E-Stars will be the current best team in the LPL.
Yup, and as we have a slow moment in the game, E-Star will have pressure in all three lanes, so they will be able to constantly move back and forth between each lane, set up vision, and look for these picks. IG are really going to have to play it slow, try and overload one lane and create a pick.
What I really hate about versing Blitzcrank is when you're on the losing end, when Blitzcrank maintains vision, that's when it gets scariest.
Well, it's even worse, too, because, right, you don't have any pressure point on the map. E-Star can push all three lanes.
And then back to the game. Quick bit of narrative. So we're not overdoing narrative. RNG's playing them in next week.
But they are forcing summoners.
Next week, later in next week.
Heal this time around. He used a flash in the last engage. The Shy uses World Ender.
It's exactly what we said
like
we
week
wanted
6 or
to see
7
out of IG, right? You want to overload one lane, look for a pick.
We've only got like 3 weeks
LPL
LPL left.
Summoner, and catch E-Star off guard.
Just remember as well that Wei also has a Rift Herald. He's not going to use it on this turret here. Rookie trying to maintain the wave and not let them get near the inhibitor.
Just very clean play coming out from Estar so
well, technically
far.
4 weeks, including this week.
Just slightly
Lost to
under 10
EDG. Yeah, EDG's their one loss.
We don't have another Dragon for
EDG
about 3
is their
minutes, but
only
when
loss.
you have global
Only
ultimates
series
like
loss.
from the Pantheon, the aggression
beat
doesn't
BLG
need to
2-1.
stop. Estar can keep forcing
I want to see the
plays in
OMG
this
series.
downtime.
That'll
Well,
be
at
fun.
the moment, they've got the wave shoved out, and you can see they're kind of waiting around Wink to get this back off. Now that he's finally gone, now that Krine's going to be doing the same thing. Curious to see those items. 2 items already on the Pantheon, 2 on the Syndra with a blasting wand.
Game state,
And
important.
double Ruby
Remember, I was
crystal
having
picked up
trouble
here
with
from
game state
Krine.
here.
As well as the stopwatch. You can see excuse me, stopwatch.
I lost my fucking voice.
As well as the stopwatch. You can see excuse me, stopwatches are in hand. It's been a long day, apparently. So, Estar's could be setting up for that
actually
one
just lost
big
all my
fight that
voice.
leads to this Baron.
Yep, looks like
That was
Estar are
rough.
trying to say, hey, we could be doing Baron. You need to come
Zoom
check.
might be
you need
back.
to walk in
Yeah,
us.
Zoom might be
They get a
back.
bit
Uzi
impatient. They say, hey,
won't.
we
I don't
still
think
have
Uzi will
Fifth
be back by that
Let's
series.
put this down. Let's try and force a 5-man engage in the mid
He's
lane.
already in
6
Shanghai,
versus
but he's only
5
been in
in the mid.
Shanghai for a couple of
And
days, so he's got
Estars know it.
just about
Puff
2 weeks.
is so under-leveled in comparison to Wing.
We'll see.
So is Rookie in comparison
Maybe
to
RG
Krine.
will be back, actually. Oh,
Get me started on the
No.
top lane. Xiaoxi has
No,
been
it's not
so
soon.
close
It's
with
not-
these hooks. IG make one false move.
might be like a
They're
day
done.
or 2 late.
Estar are able to make this play because of how far ahead they are. It would have been nice to, again, see them use all 3 lanes, maybe pull IG apart and then look for a Herald play.
But IG are channeling down the mid lane. Xiaobai is here. Scatter the Weak available. The hook from Xiaoxi.
I missed the
Where
ult from
is it?
Buff.
He has flash available, or rather doesn't just yet. Pantheon ult comes in. Krine has the flash. And IG might have an advantage.
Just so you all know, so the problem is, if you're a caster, make sure you get a TV really fucking close to you, because holy crap, ours is far away.
Here. The Shy zones are
I cannot see Xiaoxi's flash. Look at the timing there on Xiaoxi's flash. You can't see it. Let me move me. See that? That's what I'm dealing with. So, our TV's really far away, and shit like that's super hard to see, but I don't know.
away the Pantheon. And Estars, that was the first bad execution we've seen.
Yeah, also shows
Yep,
in
calling a
Estar's
spade a
comp, you don't have
spade.
any true engage, right? You have a lot
That
of
wasn't a
pick
good
potential
execute. I mean,
with
like,
the
they
Blitz
threw
strike, with
everything
the
in,
Syndra, the Elise.
and
Pretty
Krine
much
had to
all of the
flash. It was
champions
just
do
super
really well
sloppy,
at
and E-Stars don't do
CCing
sloppy.
one target, but
That's why
now
that
Estar say,
fight was
hey,
like so confusing.
again, we are still stronger than you. Come into us.
Redemption's going to spot them out.
Now,
Xiaoxi's
they get
zoning
Baron,
away
they
here.
push.
IG trying to
Watch
walk
this
in the
last
big
fight.
unit. Ning pops the ulti just in time, and the hook is not going to connect. Now, with the Ragnarok available, can IG do anything? Cocoon doesn't connect either, and Baron resets.
See, we're
You don't
asking if
need
IG can
engage
do anything with their
to make
9k
the
gold
enemy team
behind.
lock in.
Any other
That
team,
is
that'd be
why-
absolutely wrong.
Hook also from Southwind as Rookie goes on in, trying to block that away. You can see IG getting ever so closer. Rookie gets burnt out a little bit. The jump on from Way, though, is now Krine's back in the fight. They find the Shy. The hook now is not going to do too much as IG are running for the hills. For Estar, the Rookie team, they're found Ning as well. That's 3 dead. And Puff and Southwind watch their team get obliterated.
Estar get the Baron off this play.
So,
Both
that's what I
teams
think is gonna
started
be the
posturing
last
like they were
fight,
gonna
right?
walk away. Estar just have 2.
So I'm like,
20 kills on the board.
IG
and
tried, but E-Stars, it's still
are on the
confirmation that
cusp
this team is still
of
like
taking
so
down
fucking far ahead.
2019 Spring Champions, the 2018 World Champions. What was considered the current best team in the LPL.
They were undefeated. The Baron
Story about IG.
until what
sorry.
looks like is going to be this series. Puff getting that tower off the Baron play, just getting a little bit out from it. But as we said, both teams kind of posturing like they were going to back off, and then suddenly one member goes in, Rookie goes in, Crying gets pulled in. IG now really trying to force this engage, but we see the damage out of Estar. IG just can't do anything. Xiaobai coming in from the backside, and Xiaoxi hitting a lot of beautiful hooks.
IG gonna
That
be IG.
aggressive flash
Consistent.
from Wink over the
Yeah.
wall.
I mean, he's been pretty confident this series. Deserves to have that game too, where he showcases a little bit as well. And remember, coming into this series, we talked about the Nanny and we talked about the Hitman. We talked about Southwind being the protective support and Xiaoxi being Mr. John Wick himself. And Xiaoxi has been Keanu Reeves in the flesh. Breathtaking as usual.
Xiaoxi to me has looked a lot
I'm
more
sorry,
like a
but that's just
Terminator.
fantastic.
Oh,
That's,
Ning,
that's-
you speak of Arnold. He might be caught out here. Survives for now.
And then I went a bit too far.
That's a big ultimate. Baron.
I'm weird. I'm random.
You know what? That's me.
Penguin is still an island.
Just have no options left in this
except
game.
for Rookie, except the Shy's going to go in as well. He gets a big ulti, but Rookie is blown up. A bit of AoE here for Invictus Gaming, and to their credit, they do a bit of damage, but the hook lands again. Southwind dies. Well, that's Scatter the Weak from Wink. Exceptional talent here from the AD carry of Estar. The fight is theirs again.
IG think they can do it. We said they have no options, but Rookie tries to go in.
Now, what's going to happen here is Estar's going to teleport in.
Lyric, that's going to...
They get everyone. They hit the turret, and 3 people are there, and they're like, we're not going to fight.
It won't be over yet.
It probably could have been... I mean, Shoutcaster probably could have just gotten a hook.
To the top of the leaderboard.
I was really...
Now
listen to my outro.
First it was FPX, the 2019 World Champions. Now against Invictus Gaming, it won't be over yet. But they're ready to take us to the top of the leaderboard.
I was really expecting that to be over.
So was I. I prepped that call, and now it goes right in the bin.
Oh, God.
Oh, another day.
Estar just getting a nice, safe reset here. We can take a look at this, but again...
So we're going to skip forward a bit, because they play around, and from there it's just like...
The room's not a good reference whatsoever. It's like watching McBain. You seen The Simpsons? You seen McBain? You know, he's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a, you know, you know what? Have you seen McBain?
My pop culture's not on point, my friends.
What have you seen? I hit you with The Room, which is the biggest internet meme movie in history. And I hit you with McBain from Simpsons.
You know what I've seen? I've seen Estar clinically dissect.
You don't watch
IG.
anything but League of Legends, do you?
Not really.
Okay. That's alright, you're pretty bloody good at it. That's fair. Estar, you want to see them cleanly dissect? You could see that, couldn't you? You could see that gold lead. IG.
From here, like, this has nothing to do with it. I mean, at this point, the game should have been over. And it's taken so fucking long. Let's see the game-ending call.
And the sloppier this gets, the less confidence I have.
I was going to say, Estar are starting to show some flaws where they really could use again.
Oh, but they do find the hook here, and they do find the deletion. Never mind IG being caught out as Unleashed Power comes through. We finally see it. It would have been disappointing to watch as IG win this game. Estar still got it from minute 1 to minute 31. Now with the hook to finish things off. Shoutcaster doesn't miss. And Estar, as I was saying before, are your best team of the LPL Spring, taking down the flawless IG.
The best team of the LPL Spring taking down the flawless IG. I've shown him McBain. That's okay. So, after that sloppy ending, I throw pages off the desk. I do that a lot. I threw his off the desk. I threw my pen off the desk. Look, we come back and it's gone. Where's my pen? Where is it? It's gone. Look at that quality. It's gone. So, key learnings here from this cast. My skirmishes were horrible. Like, actually horrible. I think my skirmishes... Can I dark mode this? Oh, I can. Let's go through goals. To start things off. Did we inject narrative? Did we inject lots of narrative? Hell yeah, we did. We had a lot of talking about narrative. That gets a green. I rarely give a green. Injecting narrative into the cast was personal goal, and we did it together. Now, did I heighten Lyric? I think I helped him push his points. We continued conversation. I'm not sure if I actually made him sound better due to my own success. I think he made himself sound better, so that's yellow. Yellow as in on the line. Letting the analytical conversation flow. I think I've allowed the conversation to go, but I think these two need to go hand in hand, and they didn't. So, letting the analytical conversation flow. I did let him talk. Like, let him do his own things. I think I gave him space, but I didn't heighten him. And I didn't help push his points forward, so I didn't come back to him and say, constantly, you were saying this, yada, 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 this is right. I touched on his points, but yeah. That gets red. My game awareness, watching the minimap, watching flanks and fights, all that shit is down. Like, it wasn't clear and concise where I'd want it to be. Yeah. I think that goes back. I think that's yellow. I think that's yellow. Oh, orange. I think it's yellow. They're just more about working. So these are more about working with my co-caster, and I think more and more that Lyric and I work together, I'll understand his direction. This is more a time thing, so I'm not too concerned that that didn't hit the mark. The fact that it was kind of there is okay for me. The question from Mark of like, what do I think on the difference between LCS, LEC style professional cast and LCK class, which feels more casual? It's a different audience, right? LPL is a weird in-between because we're very focused on story. We don't, like, we still have fun, but we're not, are we closer to LCK? I don't know what style we are. We obviously, it's not about taking it serious or not. Like, Atlas and LS or, like, VODs and LS is, like, it's fun, it's casual, it's you know, like a bit of boys club sometime, and that's cool. The LCK audience, I've said, it's like a cool cult where everyone's in on it. And if you're outside the circle, it's not super friendly to you, but you quickly get into that circle, like you find your way in. Where the LCS and LEC is better for casual viewers that want to get the hype of watching a competitive game. It's not always real to what it is. Now in the LPL, we're quite real. We're not always super harsh, but we're not boys club either. It's approachable. LPL is like coming into and watching a stream, and it's like, sit down, we're going to tell you a story. We're super narrative based because we have like one of the richest histories. We have so many players, so many teams, and there's so many players that have come through. LPL is a hot pot. Well said. Yeah, it's a bit of everything. Now, let's continue. Game awareness, minimap sucked. My biggest issue here is watching the minimap. That's going to be my goal going into the next cast. So hang on, where are we? Now, narrative injected into the game needs to disappear. Let's just finish this and then I'll go back. Touching on players' personal history, playstyles with champions. I think we did that nicely. I think we really touched on the personal history of players, and we didn't overkill narrative to the point where, sometimes we're like, okay, we're going really deep into this. But I didn't mind it. The playstyle with champions, we hit as well. That's fine. The LPL Chinese cast barely hits narrative. Yeah, I mean, like, they're different. They're very different. We talk a lot of narrative because for the Western audience, they don't understand about the LPL. A lot of them don't. Some of them do. Some of the diehard fans understand the history. But a lot of them actually just don't, haven't watched LPL because there hasn't been an LPL English that's been an official broadcast since 2017. Before that, it was like a community broadcast, right? It was a small audience. Did I introduce Estar to an unknowing global audience? Yes, we did. Very confident on that one. We related them to FPX RNG quite a lot. I gotta be more specific about that, but we introduced Estar to a global audience. And I'm very confident in that. We introduced them in the sense that we talked about the inexperienced, the rookies. We talked a little bit about Shoutcaster, Wink, Cryan a bit as well. The least person we talked about probably was Wei. So there's a lot more story behind it, and that's why you don't find the LPL English narrative forced. It's not centered on one point. Yeah, there's so much diversity in it. All right, so those are our goals. That's the narrative. So injecting narrative into the game, that can go off my short term. I think I've achieved that. I think I've actually worked on that well in the first couple of weeks. Better game awareness stays right there. Identity to players through champions and playstyles. Should that stay there? Well, for now it will. But you know what? I'm going to add another point. Based on what I've seen in this cast, I'm going to give give more to my color and expand on the conversation. Because while I do go into conversation, I don't take it anywhere. Take it. I don't need to take it. Expand on the conversation. Items. Yeah. Being aware of the game state and player items at crucial points. Yes, I agree. Good point. This will be highlighted. This I will highlight. Yuck. I do not like that highlight and a black screen. Hang on. Green. Let's just not highlight. Let's just do that. Okay, let's just not do it. Yuck. Cool. Short-term goals upgraded. By the way, just so we're here. Hard statements. Strengthening fundamentals. Team fights slowed down. That's an interesting one. Haha, you get to see that for 2 seconds. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you don't get to see my long-term goals. Where are we? What am I looking at? Your eyes, I know. Lack of itemization talk. Yeah, so we did talk about items a bit, but we just didn't talk about it at key points. Virus, because it was so wacky. I mean, like, Jordan brought a lot of attention to the virus. So that's the upgrade. So let's go through our narrative. World champions versus rookies. Yes, heavily on the Estar's side. RNG, FPX combined. Yes. Just yes. Was it followed throughout game? At times, right? Clipped it. Oh boy. Chelsea versus Southwind. A damn lot needed to simplify. Yes. Best followed narrative. Yes. With a focus from Jordan plus good explanation. Best narrative we followed was this. Team fighting style, the style of Estar solo lanes. Now, IG, we rarely touched on, but that was due to the game state. Because of the game state, we didn't talk about IG. We could have talked more about their failings, but we didn't, you know? I don't know what I was doing for this row, but it's gone. I guess you should probably explain what certain item breakpoints mean. Well, certain item breakpoints is like crucial breakpoints is like in front of Dragon, Herald. I mean, I know what it means, right? Like my goal, but like for you guys, like it's around objectives and around important moments that are leading to a fight. Triforce getting a spike, but it's like IE comes along online super hard. Well, for me, that's not important. It's like, no, first item's being picked up in front of a Dragon, and this team is about to fight versus a team that doesn't have items, right? For me, as a play-by-play, a lot of the time I need to simplify. It wasn't stressed enough that the expectation is from these teams that could come back any fight, anything goes wrong. It tells a lot about how consistent Estar were. IG, not it. Yeah. That one of these teams could come back any fight. Yeah. Look, we had to focus on like IG or out, you know, because it was so heavily sided. I think it's fine. I mean, a lot of the time, like, our narrative was, well, E-Stars are far ahead, but IG have shown in the past that they're down but not out, to simplify it, right? So, yeah. And so now, I take all of that and I go summary, right? And my summary is, nice conversation for one of the first, for the second cast day with Lyric. Felt like the series didn't lack direction, but could have done with more focus on the game state and what is happening because of it, right? So we talked about game state. In early skirmishes, I often found myself behind on the play due to the fact that I was not aware of the mini-map and the rotations that were setting up, that were coming into play to set up for the fight. A lot of the time, Xiaobai on Maokai / Renekton was missed due to this. Right, so this is the purpose of this, is to summarize what I'm taking away. Down, not out, in anticipation of eventually winning. Okay, that's a fair point. I mean, that's a fair point. It's super hard with IG because they have that expectation, though. This is what I had a massive conversation with someone on Reddit last year about this, where IG, the down, not out, like that we use a lot, and like IG, the potential of coming back, is... It's not always going to happen, but the issue is it's happened before, and many times people like the Shy or even Rookie have pulled something out of their ass. And so we can look shit when we say IG might still be okay here, 10,000 gold down with a comp that looks really hard to execute. But if it happens, we look great. And the eventuality of that happening is a higher percentage than anyone else. And the problem is, if we don't acknowledge that and somehow they come back, we fall flat. And we might fall a little flat anyway, but it's a much softer fall than if IG do come back. The problem is balance, and yeah, it's hard. But I get what you're saying, like it makes sense. And, you know, I've talked about it many times before, but the problem is IG are that kind of team. And it usually happens in big series. I mean, that was a big series, right? So back to this, to finish this off as well. Skirmishes were my problem, right? And my focus towards a mini-map. Understanding, on top of this, understanding big item spikes / advantages around these fights or objectives. My understanding, be specific, my understanding of the of big item spikes and advantages around these fights or objectives was lacking. And therefore my focus in the fights was skewed. Corky Trinity Force around Dragon in game 1. Cry and Corky Trinity Force around Dragon in game 1 is a great example. Estars was a big series for them. Of course it was. I mean, that's of course it was a big series. Like, it was a big series because of the standings, right? Awareness, not understanding. Yeah. I mean, it does mean yeah, I mean, it's essentially the same thing. But, like, back to this, like, Estars was a big series for them. Doesn't matter for IG if it wasn't in a sense. This is probably the biggest series of the split. Like, depending on how FPX go, depending on how RNG go when we get to RNG, IG. Stoneplate big, yeah. But this was their biggest series, so I disagree. Like, you always have to be ready for IG. In the same sense that RNG with team fighting, it's like, well, RNG is so good at team fighting, at least with Uzi, that a lot of the time we're like, okay, they're getting into a 5v5, RNG have a disadvantage, but watch Uzi. You know? And so many different teams with so many different styles. IG have the reputation, and we have to respect the reputation. End of the day, like, it's a decision that, you know, might not always look great, but it's hurt me before, and, you know, I've been caught unawares by IG, and it's better to be prepared. But yeah, like, you take the good with the bad. Like, sometimes with IG, we do come across as, like, too favorable on IG when they're in a really bad situation. And then a lot of the time you just got to step back and be like, okay, well, we need to lay back on IG. They're not playing well, you know. So it's going to be hard in LPL when you get random fights for no reason. More about practicing taking in what you need quickly. Yeah. No, you're not talking out of your ass. That's fair. Didn't take it 100% serious. That's disingenuous, though, to Estars. It's not about taking it serious. They just got outplayed. They literally got outclassed by Estars. This whole series was an outclass by Estars. Like, kinks in the armor where they, in game 2, when they just, like, failed to end and they're a bit sloppy, that was Estars, you know, like, actually failing to understand what they could do. And IG started playing that better. But IG just got outclassed massively. Crying Corky Trinity Force around Dragon in game 1 is a great example. So, item timings and knowing when to talk about game state, early skirmishes. We did have nice conversation, but I need to help Lyric get to, not get to his points, but like me help and make the conversation more stimulating. A lot of narrative with a lot of diversity, though. Diversity. That's fine. All right, that's a summary. Simplify your points. I'm talking to my future self. There we go. That's a summary of the two game series. Nice conversation with Lyric. Series didn't lack direction, but it could have had more focus on the game state, is what is happening because of it. Early skirmishes, I was caught out because I wasn't looking at the minimap, and I wasn't looking at the rotations that set up for the play. What do they want for this? What do you want for this? Oh, that came into play. It was like the Maokai, good example. Always good to give this example. If you're a caster, if you're doing a VOD review, give yourself examples so you don't make it hard where you're like, what did I talk about here a week ago? And then the Trinity Force is another good example of my map awareness, or my awareness of big item spikes and what players are taking into a fight or an objective back and forth. A lot of narrative with a lot of diversity, but I need to simplify my points. And that's a VOD review. From the team comps they picked. Yeah, I mean, look, team comps may have been a bit disrespectful, but IG do that all the time. I think if we saw a rematch in playoffs, yeah, I mean, look, it'll be a different environment in playoffs anyway. Especially for IG. So, we have to wait and see if they verse each other in playoffs, though. So yeah, so that is essentially how I do a VOD review. We go through, we set out what we're trying to tell, and especially in the LPL, as a story beforehand. We look at what our goals are, what the duo goal is as well. Again, this document came from Joe, which I believe came from the LEC casting team. So I think this document comes from EU. I think this is what the LEC casting team uses. And it's just a very simple document that you can take notes throughout. Give yourself, you know, critique yourself, and then summarize your information. And then going forward into next cast, I'll have a look at this, you know, a day before, and I'll go, what was I struggling with? And then my next cast will be goals based on what I've summarized here and my other information. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that gives someone, you know, a bit of an understanding of, like, this is part of the prep time as well. It's not just, especially for an LPL team that is, you know, we get a lot of discredit just because people don't like that the LPL broadcast doesn't really have people that are established, right? That also the casting team, you know, like when you look across the board, like, Lyric now is our most established caster from day one because he's established himself as a coach. And we don't have all the experience in the world, but like shit like this is our way of continuing to push ourselves up and being competitive with LEC, LCS casters in terms of talent, and LCK as well. A long road, but yeah, that's how we do a breakdown.